You're listening to a special presentation from the Real Presence Radio Network. On Real Presence Radio, welcome to the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank, Premier Bank Card.
Welcome into the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card, and welcome to President's Bowl 28. First game of the day, the O'Gorman Knights taking on the Roosevelt Rough Riders here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. What's turning out to be an absolutely perfect day for some football. Very happy to have you along here with us. I'm Michael Promus, alongside Al, Benjamin, Brett Byler, and Al. Like I said, you can't ask for a better day of football, and this is going to be a matchup between two very good teams early on this season.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to see how the teams come out and perform. It certainly is. But it's nice because it's warm. It's actually pretty warm out there, so this wind is pretty welcome. It'll be interesting to see how that plays into the game.
And considering that we're coming off of those nasty storms earlier this week, and let me just first say that I hope everybody is safe. Everybody came out okay with the 3 tornadoes that touched down here in Sioux Falls early Wednesday morning, and then the flooding again the following evening. So hopefully everybody is nice and safe. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody that sustained damage or had any kind of losses in those recent storms, but Mother Nature has blessed us with a fantastic weekend, so we can at least enjoy some football, excuse me. Let's get on to the scoreboard update for the rest of the games that took place yesterday and will be taking place later today. Our sponsor for the scoreboard update is Jameson Rounds, managing partner with Value Visor.
So number 5 here on last night went into Douglas and gave it to them. They won 30-0. Yankton, number 3 ranked Yankton, went to Pierre. Pierre absolutely destroyed them. It was 63-0. Pierre is now 3-0, and they look probably to stay number 1 for a while. They're a pretty tough team. Number 4 Mitchell, they went over to Spearfish and they won 17-3. Number 2 Brookings went and played Sturgis Brown. They upended them 28-7. And then Rapid City Central and Watertown. Watertown won that game 21-14. Rapid City Central is 0-3 to start the season now. That's too bad.
And coming up later today, let's see, we have President's Bowl, of course, going on. Like I mentioned, this is Game 1. Washington and Sioux Falls Lincoln will be playing later today. Another great matchup, a lot of football this afternoon. Harrisburg is also has their Tiger Bowl down in Harrisburg today. They're going to be taking on Rapid City Stevens, as you mentioned.
And then Aberdeen Central is on the road, and they're actually playing Brandon Valley. And boy, watching that game last week, Brandon Valley, that's a dangerous team. That number 21, Tate Johnson, boy, is he serious. He's good. Well, that's a good team, well-rounded team. Of
course, Brandon Valley defeating the Knights in Dakota Bowl 51 last week, 40-16. And this is the same Brandon Valley team that fell to the Roosevelt Rough Riders in Week 1, 28-13. And so I think that says a lot about the Roosevelt Rough Riders and exactly how much work the Knights are going to have to put in if they want to come up with the W.
Yeah, and hopefully it was a bit of an anomaly. You know, maybe we'll see a different Roosevelt team tonight, or I should say this afternoon, and hopefully O'Gorman can win that game. But, you know, maybe that was just a weird blip on the first game radar type deal for Brandon Valley. I do believe at the end of the season we'll see Brandon Valley and O'Gorman up there at 1 and 2, and hopefully the Knights can really show Roosevelt what's going on. And then also kind of bounce back from that loss last week, and we'll touch more on that in a little bit.
By the way, our scoreboard update has been brought to you by Jameson Rounds, managing partner of Value Visor. Value Visor, helps people and businesses discover, improve, and get value from their businesses. Jameson can be reached at 605-370-6931 or online at valuevisor.com. Real estate through Murphy Business, Dakota Lakes. And you're listening to the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank, Premier Bank Card. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll hear from the Roosevelt Rough Riders head coach, Kim Nelson. That's on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Value Visor helps people and businesses discover, improve, and get the value from their businesses. With multi-certified valuation and mergers and acquisition advisors, they understand the complexities of valuations and negotiating in the mergers and acquisitions marketplace. For more information, you can contact Jameson Rounds, managing partner of Value Visor, at 865-370-6931 or online at valuevisor.com. Real estate through Murphy Business, Dakota Lakes.
Community. It's at the heart of everything we do at First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. From supporting area athletics to funding academic scholarships, we continually seek new ways to improve and strengthen communities we serve. At the heart of these communities are people, our customers, and our employees. We work hard to ensure our customers are successful and our communities thrive. It's the Premier way. It's what community banking is all about. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. Locally grown, nationally known.
Morgan Stanley values long-term relationships with its clients. I'm Thad Barnes, financial advisor with the Barnes DeMore Group of Morgan Stanley's Sioux Falls office. Andy DeMore and myself know that building relationships begin with getting to know each client. We can create personal investment strategies to help meet retirement, education, and other financial needs.
Thad and Andy can be reached at 338-6500. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Welcome back to the Knights Game Day Show, brought to you by First Premier Bank Card. I'm now joined by Sioux Falls Roosevelt football coach Kim Nelson. Coach, you're out to a nice start this season with 2 wins over 2 very good teams, Brandon Valley week 1, and then Sioux Falls Lincoln, a much improved team last week in week 2, 35-17. That Lincoln game, kind of from a viewer standpoint, I was able to watch some of it on YouTube. A lot of players making big plays in that game. Pretty close for a while, and you guys kind of pulled away. Overall, what do you think was the difference for your team getting the win over Lincoln?
I think maybe we wore them down a little bit. They have to play a few more guys both ways than we do, especially in the up front and the offensive and defensive lines, I think. And we're not playing anybody both ways right now. So I think we're fresher maybe in the fourth quarter. I hope that's part of the issue, because it's a big advantage if you're fresh in the fourth quarter and can maybe run the ball. Our defense really played the run well in both our first 2 games, and we ran into 2 teams that had good quarterbacks though, and so it challenges you on the ground and in the air against those 2 teams. O'Gorman brings the same problem. They've got a good running back. He's a bowling ball and really hard to tackle, and their quarterback is a very talented kid, throws a nice ball to a lot of good athlete receivers.
And one thing that stands out about the Lincoln game is Adam Kusler, 24 tackles. I would think you said that was a school record. Also Michael Paulson, a school record in the touchdown reception, 95 yards. Talk about Adam. That's a lot of tackles. A senior this year. You've coached a lot of great defenders at Roosevelt. What makes him so special? Let's talk about his performance Friday night.
Well, if you ever watched him work out, you'd know. I mean, the guy really, the only thing I've ever said to Adam is, you need to take a break. And he looks at me like, are you crazy? I'm not taking a break. He and his brother Aaron, I have to include Aaron too, they work out together all the time. And they're the leaders of our weight room and the leaders of our team. And if your best players are your hard workers, you've heard that slogan before, you got a chance to be a pretty good team. And I think that's what we have going at Roosevelt right now. So Adam is a very good student of the game. He's very physical. He's in great shape. He's a very strong athlete. He can run. He watches film. He spends time preparing, not just at practice, but at home. And his 24 tackles are a direct result of watching film and knowing their offense and kind of being able to predict where the ball's going to go and showing up at the right time.
Coach, now your opponent tonight, Sioux Falls O'Gorman, 1-1 on the season, lost last week to Brandon Valley. What is Coach Shannon Poppinga's defense? What is that some of the biggest problems they'll present for your offense to be able to move the ball tonight?
Well, their speed is obvious on film. They got a big, strong nose guard. Their linebackers are very aggressive. Defensive backs really cover well. They're just very sound, on defense. And we're going to have to mix it up and try to change formations on them a little bit and move the ball around. We can't be one-dimensional. We can't try to force the ball to any one player. We have to force them to cover the whole field and the whole team. And that can be difficult sometimes. And I know they're going to try to take away some of our things that we've done the first couple games. So we've got to be flexible. We've got to be able to make some adjustments.
Well, finally, Coach, will be some focuses for your defense against the O'Gorman offense tonight?
We need to make sure we get after the quarterback. That's kind of our goal every week, is to attack the line of scrimmage. And we blitz a lot, and it's twofold. We're trying to stop the run by filling all the gaps, but we're also trying to get pressure on the quarterback and forcing them to make quick decisions. O'Gorman already throws the ball quickly most of the time, and so they're ready for that. We can't just do that all the time. So we've got to mix up our calls and mix up our looks and try to confuse their quarterback a little bit if we can. We've got to tackle well. I mentioned their running back is really a hard-nosed runner, built low to the ground, breaks tackles, runs over people. When Norton plays quarterback, he's a guy that makes you miss. we got to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks, and that's not very easy to do. You could almost say they have 2 different offenses. One when he's playing quarterback, and one when the younger guy's playing quarterback. So thank goodness we have an extra day. We probably need an extra week to get ready for all the stuff they do. But we just have to try to be error-free on defense and be in the right spots and do our job. I think most of the time, if you have a defensive breakdown, somebody probably went to the wrong spot or did the wrong thing. If they stay sound and do what they're supposed to do, they're usually in the right spot and they can make a play, or they at least have a chance. So that's what we're hoping for.
Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
That's Roosevelt Rough Riders head coach Kim Nelson. He's getting ready to lead his team into Game 3 of the season, currently 2-0 on the season. You're listening to tonight's Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank, Premier Bank Card. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from OG head coach Jason Pape. That's on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Whether you need to be fitted with eyeglasses or contact lenses, or you need a comprehensive eye exam, Barnett Vision Clinic in Sioux Falls utilizes the latest technology and treatments available. Barnett Vision Clinic offers a wide selection of eye care products, including sunwear, eyewear, and contact lenses to fit your specific eye care needs. Barnett Vision Clinic offers a same-day pay for patients without vision coverage. Their number is 605-335-7757 or online at barnettvisionclinic.com.
Pregnant, one word, many emotions. Sioux Falls Catholic Family Services is ready to support you by providing free and confidential counseling to birth parents regardless of faith or ethnic origin. For more information, to speak with a pregnancy counselor, or to schedule an appointment, call Catholic Family Services at 605-988-3775 or email cfs@sfcatholic.org.
This is Mark Konzemius. In 1987, Bishop Paul Dudley and a group of business leaders started the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota to help raise, manage, and distribute God's gifts as determined by donors' intent. We continue to grow their vision and legacy of faith. Many choose the Catholic Community Foundation for their charitable giving because of our commitment to Catholic moral and social values. Learn more about the Catholic Community Foundation. Visit ccfesd.org.
Welcome back to the Knights Game Day Show, brought to you by First Premier Bank, Premier Bank Card. I'm now joined by Sioux Falls O'Gorman football coach Jason Poppinga. Coach, you're coming off a 40-16 loss in the Dakota Bowl to Brandon Valley, a game that started off really well for you guys. On your opening drive, you kind of methodically moved the ball down the field with a kind of a bigger group with Zach playing quarterback. Talk about, your strategy coming out on that opening drive and executing very well.
Yeah, it was, our thought process is that, we've been beat up front the last 2 years in the run game, and we really wanted our kids to prove that, in the trenches that they could win, by running the ball, that we weren't going to have to, be cute, out-scheme things out on the perimeter and just be, kind of how we normally play is, just throw a wrench into what Brandon Valley had been hopefully preparing for, and they'd come off a little off balance and, maybe get us some momentum right away, which obviously it did. And, and realistically, you look at that game, how it started, we easily could have been up, 14-7. We're going into drive, and we put that same team in, and then we fumble, under the 1 yard line, and then they take a 99-yard touchdown. So we would have had points on the board. We're easily within field goal range, so we would have went up for sure 10-7, hopefully 14-7 at that point. On the play when we fumbled, we had a 6-yard gain. So in my opinion, we were going to go up 14-7, and all of a sudden that game has a very different kind of trajectory from that point. And then we throw an interception, which once again wasn't Tegan's fault. One of our receivers didn't run a route he was supposed to, and as a result, the guy that was supposed to cover him goes and makes the interception. And so, we had 2 bad things happen, in the matter of that second quarter, and all of a sudden we're down 21, and we feel like we should have been up 21 to something at that point. And there's obviously bright spots. We are offensively, we outgained Brandon Valley in that game. We come down and execute our 2-minute drill, in a minute and 30 seconds, get ourselves in the field goal range. There are definitely positives, but overall, we didn't stop Brandon Valley's run game very well, and we didn't do a very good job managing momentum.
How big a loss on the defensive end was Kowalczyk getting hurt in the first drive of the ball game?
Obviously huge. He's our best linebacker. He's our most physical player, and we use him on both sides of the ball, because of how physical he is. And to lose that and have to put a sophomore in the game, which definitely was not the same type of player, that makes a big difference being able to stop the run.
When you look at the Roosevelt game, our opponent this week, they're 2-0 with wins over Brandon and Lincoln. What stands out to you? It's the biggest challenge for your offense trying to move the ball against the Rosie defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the two big challenges are the two Kusler twins who, both play their outside linebacker hybrid position for them, and their speed is, second to none for a linebacker. So their ability to run down plays and create havoc inside and out, we're definitely going to have to try to, mitigate those facts. And then you put a 295-pound nose guard in there and a 265 strong end, for them. So, I mean, that's going to be a real big challenge to run the football against a defensive front that's like that. And when you do throw the ball, once again, you're still dealing with, the Kuslers in pass coverage that are just as fast as, our skill guys out at wide receiver. So that's definitely going to be the challenge. Our offense is going to have to, maintain possession and maintain the ball, as much as possible to try to keep our defense off the field.
What scares you most about the Roosevelt offense tonight?
Biggest thing, once again, is just their size and speed. Up front, their linemen are all bigger than our defensive line. That we can't allow them to just methodically run the ball, which they usually don't do because they like to throw the ball, they like to pass it around, and they got receivers that are over 6 feet tall and can run. If you look at their top players, they're catching 5-6 balls a game for 100 yards, which are huge yards after the catch. That's what we have to be able to do, is tackle really well out in space.
Finally, Coach, and I know you mentioned a key to victory against Brandon is trying to force a turnover defense or win the turnover battle. How big will that be against a team as good as Roosevelt to maybe try to do that, and then just special teams plays and just field position?
Yeah, all those things we failed, realistically against Brandon. We fumbled the ball and they turned it into a long touchdown. Special teams, we didn't cover the punt the one time very well, and obviously they get a touchdown off of a punt, which, should never happen. We missed 2 tackles, on that. So we're going to have to do a better job and hopefully stay with them offensively like we did with Brandon, and our defense be able to get a couple key stops. And if we do get those turnovers, hopefully that momentum goes our way like Brandon had against us.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Hey, thank you, Brett. Appreciate it.
That was O'Gorman head coach Jason Pape. His third year at the helm of these O'Gorman Knights. Currently sit at 1-1 on the season, coming off of that loss at Dakota Bowl 51 against Brandon Valley. And you're listening to the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank. Premier Bank Card. We'll step aside once more, and when we come back, the keys to victory, sponsored by John Fritsch with the Fritsch Advisors. That's on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Hi there, Ryan here from Mini Critters. Mini Critters has been a locally owned stop for all pets' needs to keep them happy and healthy. With all the pet food choices available, finding the right dog or cat food can be a challenge. But no worries. We can be reached at 605-361-0006 and let our staff help find the perfect food for any dog or cat. Mini Critters is food, treats, toys, and more. Mini Critters, your friends, your family.
Eide Bailly, a public accounting firm, provides tax, accounting, assurance, and business advisory services to clients across the nation. With offices in Sioux Falls and 40 locations in 15 states, Eide Bailly is the workplace for 2,400 professionals. The firm has been serving clients for over 100 years. You can contact Eide Bailly online at eidebailly.com. Eide Bailly is a proud supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities and the Real Presence Radio Network.
Do you want your business's message to be heard by a dedicated audience during one of our biggest on-air fundraisers of the year? Tune into the RPR Network for our Fall Live Drive, which runs Wednesday, September 18th through Friday, September 20th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. It's a family reunion as we bring you great stories of how the Lord has touched the people you know through Catholic radio. To become a sponsor of the Fall Live Drive, contact me, Brett Byler, by calling 605-670-8333.
Welcome back into the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank Card. And I apologize, folks. Popping his 4th year, Dakota Bowl 41. I did get hit for that already, so don't worry, the damage has been done. But it is the 28th President's Bowl, and O'Gorman is playing Roosevelt.
Yep.
So at least I'm 1 for 2 or something like that. As I mentioned, O'Gorman Knights are on the field, and Roosevelt Rough Riders are as well, gearing up for President's Bowl 28, game 1 of 2 here today at Howard Wood Field. But let's get some perspective on what the Knights need to do to win this game. Here are our keys to victory by Mr. John Fritsch, who also sponsors it with the Fritsch Advisors.
Keys to victory against Roosevelt High. It's the President's Bowl. It's a great honor to represent the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools in the public school fundraiser, the kind of the clone of Dakota Bowl, but it's honoring the presidents, Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Keeter, honoring those guys who are on Mount Rushmore. But before we talk about football, I want to talk for a second about what happened the other night in town. And, I think of three wonderful businesses that really got hammered by that tornado. The OPH, Janet, has always been very, very supportive of the community. And the Rush, I don't know what Dale Stoll's going to do, but especially I want to talk about the Pizza Ranch, Todd and Patty Ferris and Mike, O'Gorman people, very supportive, and I wish everybody would support the other Ferris Pizza Ranch locations. I coached Todd when he was in college. This goes way back, and Patty was a cheerleader for my wife, Patty Bernard, and she was such a pretty cheerleader. When she graduated, home attendance dropped by 500. They have just been a part of this area and so supportive. So please, give them your thoughts and prayers, but give them your business too, because it's going to be a while before that comes back. Okay, Rosie. Another behemoth. I mean, you look at them, they're 2-0. I look at offensively, I think Dannenbring is in his 7th year as a starter. He really hit a 95-yarder to Paulson. And then they got a tackle, I think, that's was getting recruited by Nebraska, but I think he's looking at USD. So that's the kind of personnel they have offensively. Defensively, they have the two twins, Adam and Aaron, and I've been able to watch them a little bit. They're really complete football players. The key to victory for O'Gorman is attitude. They had a tough loss last week, and they got to start in practice. They got to stick together, because you'll never get off the deck if you're not together as a team. So you stick together, you get up off the deck, and they could get it done. Don Nottingham getting downhill a little bit. Eliminate turnovers, tighten up on defense, get Pavelko in range to kick that game winner, and everything will be just fine. So go Knights.
Today's keys to victory for the Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights are brought to you by Fritsch Benefits, a registered investment advisor representative. John Fritsch can be reached at 605-334-8086, and we appreciate John sharing his thoughts on today's game as the Knights gear up to take on the Roosevelt Rough Riders. We're going to be doing the coin flip here very shortly, so we better move things along here. You've been listening to the Knights Game Day Show, sponsored by First Premier Bank Card. First Premier Bank Card are proud sponsors of the Sioux Falls O'Gorman Knights. First Premier Bank Card, locally grown, nationally known. The kickoff coming right up on the other side of the break right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Hi, John Fritsch, Fritsch Benefits. The people we work with have two goals. Number one, they don't want to run out of money. Number two, whatever is left, they want it to go to the people they love. Could be issues like Social Security claiming, Medicare choices, even asset allocations for your 401k, or you may want to treat your church like one of your children. If you want to talk about any financial issues, you can call me, John Fritsch, 334-8086.
Investment advice offered through IMS Wealth Management, an SEC registered advisor.
Community. It's at the heart of everything we do at First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. From supporting area athletics to funding academic scholarships, we continually seek new ways to improve and strengthen communities we serve. At the heart of these communities are people, our customers, and our employees. We work hard to ensure our customers are successful and our communities thrive. It's the Premier way. It's what community banking is all about. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. Locally grown, nationally known.
On the Real Presence Radio Network, O'Gorman Knights Football is on the air. Brought to you by
Catholic Family Services, Catholic Community Foundation of Eastern South Dakota, Jardine Construction, Hagen Chiropractic Clinic, Mini Critters, Barnett Vision Clinic, Crossroads, the Barnes DeMoore Group Financial Advisors at Morgan Stanley, Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools, Fritsch Benefits Registered Investment Advisor Representative, McGuire Iron, Knights of Columbus Insurance Field Agent Jeff Gillen, Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street, First Premier Bank Card, Sioux Equipment Company, I. Bailey, Ferrandor Family Chiropractic and Wellness, Mark Promis with Providence Financial, and Jameson Rounds, managing partner of Value Visor.
Kickoff to tonight's game is just moments away. With all the exciting action of O'Gorman Knights football, let's go to the field.
Welcome, one and all, to another edition of O'Gorman Knights football here on Real Presence Radio Network. Today, the O'Gorman Knights are taking on the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Rough Riders in the 28th President's Bowl here in Sioux Falls at Howard Wood Field. They're getting ready to kick off, but let's squeeze in a prayer. The way we should begin all good things.
Hello, this is Father Christopher Cowles with the Parish of Our Lady of Guadalupe here in Sioux Falls. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all of our athletes, and we ask that you bless them and watch over them this evening as they enter into this game. Please allow them to keep safe, to enjoy their time, and to remember that this is meant to be something that is fun. Allow their families and friends to cheer them on with all their hearts, and allow us to keep the true sense of sportsmanship always in our hearts and minds. We also thank you for our Catholic faith. Allow our students as they play to never forget for whom they offer their lives, for Jesus Christ. And we ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Meanwhile, kickoff commenced here at Howard Wood Field, starting just a few minutes early, getting the action going. The O'Gorman Knights taking on Sioux Falls Roosevelt. The Knights won the toss, deferred, and kicked off to the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Tyler Feldkamp brought it up the right side, so the Rough Riders will start things off with 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. In shotgun, Brady Dannenbring hands it off. There's Feldkamp, moves around the left side, down the sideline at the 30, and pushed out of bounds finally by the O'Gorman Knights, but not before a healthy gain of about 25 yards for the junior. Michael Promis here alongside Al Benjamin and Brett Byler. Thank you so much for joining us today on a beautiful Saturday here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, I think we got a game time temp of 73 degrees, and it's gorgeous out. The wind, I didn't catch what the wind speed was, but it's going right to left. So the Roosevelt Rough Riders have chosen to play into the wind for the first quarter here.
Rough Riders moving from my left to my right. Dannenbring puts a man in motion from left to right, takes the snap, one back, hands it off to Feldkamp. Feldkamp dives up the left side of the tackle, but is met
there you go,
after a gain of about 2 yards. Now, we didn't get a lot of chance to talk about this pregame there, Al, but the O'Gorman Knights coming off of a tough loss against the Brandon Valley Lynx last week at Dakota Bowl 40-16 loss. The defense looked fantastic. Got a little tired at the end of the game just because the offense couldn't really put much of a drive together there in that second half. But expect the O'Gorman Knights to play a very wide spread out defense. Look for the nickel package to be broken out a couple times here. Here's Feldkamp again, right side on 2nd and 8. This time a loss of 2. But the Knights are going to be playing wide. Roosevelt loves to throw the ball. That's the way Kim Nelson has set up his offense. And with a couple suspensions from the Roosevelt side, including Tyree Nave, their starting running back, I think we can expect kind of a pass attack coming out throughout the rest of the game. I know they've only run plays so far, but something to look forward to.
Yeah, that was number 6, Tyler Feldkamp. They're going to him a lot and often, and he's been stopped now. Great tackle there by number 4, Tip Raymond. But yeah, they've gone to Tucker Large, and he was looking good on the first couple plays there out of the first drive. But now he's been able to get stopped by O'Gorman defense. So it's nice. I'm glad to see that, and hopefully the OG can turn them over on downs here. Now it's 4th 11, ball on the 32.
And that was Dannenbring trying the option. Like Al mentioned, 4th and 11, more like 10 and a half, and they're going to go for it here. Trying to get OG to jump. Nothing doing there. Dannenbring looks back toward the sideline, talks to his backs. In shotgun, 2 backs, 1 behind him, 1 to his right. Yells out to his left side receiver, nobody to the right side. Calls up Feldkamp, he motions to the left, takes the snap, looking at Feldkamp, fires it away. He gets the catch, and he's brought down at about the OG 27-yard line. Knights turn it over on down, and they'll get pretty good field position to start their offensive possession. Real quick, let's take a look at the starting lineups then for the O'Gorman Knights. Starting quarterback for OG is number 10, Tegan Schlimgen, a 5'10", 165-pound junior. Running back, number 30, Tate Wishard. The receivers, number 24, Jacob Bird, number 13, Zach Norton, number 16, Logan Jones, and number 2, Sam Stukel. And on the line, right tackle, Eddie Myler, number 50, Jacob Doden at right guard. At center, number 70, Liam Sorensen. Number 71 at left guard, that's Devin Brenner. Number 77, Will Waschenberger at left tackle. Here's Schlimgen, takes a snap, a quick little pass over right side into the flats, and bringing it all the way up past that first down marker. Looks to be Logan Jones. Knights' first first down of the game.
Yep, that was Logan Jones. He looked great. He looked great going down the side there.
By the way, our starting lineups are brought to you by the Barnes DeMoor Group at Morgan Stanley Financial Advisors in Sioux Falls. The Barnes DeMoor Group can be reached at 605-338-6500, located at 300 Sharapa Place, Suite 503 in Sioux Falls. Products and services by Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC. First and 10, trips left. Here's the low snap, but Schlimgen recovers. Tries to kick it over left side, but it's going to be tipped down just as it's released. Brings up second down and 10 for OG on their own 36.
Yeah, that was tipped by that number 5, Tucker Large. He's a 5'10", 160-pound junior, but he jumped up there. He got it there. He timed it perfectly and was able to bat it down. Luckily, no damage, no interception, so that's always good on your first drive.
And Al, who do we have defensively there for Roosevelt?
For Roosevelt's defense, on the ends we have number 85, David Alpers, and actually the starting quarterback as well. Well, the middle linebacker, Brandon Dannenberg. On the other end is Dawson Van Eddy, number 64, nose guard, number 67, Sam Coles. And in the backfield there, they have Tucker Large on corner, number 5. Linebackers, Aaron Kusler, number 8, and Adam Kusler, number 9. I believe they're twins.
Yes, they are.
If they aren't, that'd be odd. And then on the other corner, Joey Hughes, number 4. Safety Max Miller, number 22. Number 21, Nathan Moon is serving as a free safety, and their strong safety, number 23, Amir Muhammad.
All right, Al, thank you very much. In the meantime, on second and 10, a pitch play over to the right side. Zach Norton getting the call. Picks up about 4 yards, brings up third down. Actually, they're saying third down and 7, excuse me. And O'Gorman needs a timeout after that to kind of get things together. 0-0, 9:01 to play here in this first quarter of President's Bowl number 28. We'll step aside as well. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Morgan Stanley values long-term relationships with its clients. Andrew DeMoor and Thaddeus Barnes, financial advisors with the Barnes DeMoor Group of Morgan Stanley's Sioux Falls office, know that building relationships begins with getting to know each client. Andrew and Thad can create personal investment strategies to help meet retirement, education, and other financial needs. Andrew and Thad can be reached at 338-6500. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade on 41st Street in Sioux Falls has something for everyone. They offer a buffet featuring pizza and chicken. Pizza Ranch has daily specials as well as 5 party rooms and a dining area. You can also order online and they'll bring the experience to you. Pizza Ranch is located across from O'Gorman High School on 41st Street and can be contacted by calling 271-8646. Pizza Ranch is a strong supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
Third down and 7. The O'Gorman Knights, a quick little fake pass over top to Jonah Wibben, but a flag on the field. If it's against Roosevelt, we could be looking at a first down for OG, but no.
Yeah, they pointed over in the OG direction here. That's too bad. He was dragging 2 defenders as well. He did a great job busting through that defense and gaining some extra yards.
It looked like it was illegal procedure. No, excuse me, an eligible receiver downfield. That'll be a 5-yard penalty from the spot, which is going to bring up third down and 12 for the Knights.
Of course, it brings out the "You Can't Do That" chant from a lovely Rough Rider crowd down in front of us here. That was good.
Schlimgen in shotgun, 1 back, trips left, 1 receiver to the right side, takes the snap, hand off, and the reverse back the other side.
Come on, Sam.
Sweeping around the right side is Sam Stukel. Takes a couple hits, but brings it past the 40-yard line. Won't be enough for the first down. And the Knights are going to bring out the punt team.
No, but, don't be surprised if you don't see that again. It did draw the defense over. They have a very athletic defense in the backfield, so they were able to catch up to Stukel, but they almost broke that off. I expect to see that play again.
And they got kind of lucky because the weak safety, Max Miller, was creeping up on the left side, got a jump on the snap, and would have had easy sack had they passed, but the reverse was executed perfectly. It actually made that play happen. Here is the punt by Norton. It's going to be scooped up at the 20-yard line by Tyler Feldkamp, brings it up to the 5, drugged down by the shirt. And Roosevelt will go back to work.
KG on the stop there. Nice tackle. Way to go.
8:06 to play in the first quarter. Goose eggs on the board still in President's Bowl 28. And a fun fact for you there, Al. Kim Nelson, the head coach for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, coached in the very first President's Bowl back 28 years ago, but he was coaching for the Cobblers of Rapid City Central.
I'll be darned. Actually, I watched Kim Nelson coach at Edina High School. I lived in the cities at the time. My wife was actually the athletic trainer for Edina High School.
Really?
Yeah, so I got to know Kim quite well. Great guy. He coached at Edina High School 05 to 09.
Dannenbring looks to pass for the first time today. Nobody's open. He scrambles. He's going to be brought down to the backfield. Loss of 3 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders in the middle of the field. Again, Rough Riders moving from left to right. Look at a spot right in the middle, which is going to open up the field quite a bit for them. And look like they want to kind of play a sort of hurry-up offense, and Roosevelt does this as well. They have a strong pass attack, but what they also do is they always have these flip cards kind of on their wristbands on their left hand, and they can call plays. The Dannenbring, especially being experienced, can call plays right at the line, try to catch the defense off guard. So here's Dannenbring, 2 backs, 1 behind him, 1 to the right, 2 receivers spread to his left, empty right. Puts Feldkamp in motion. He cuts out left side. Dannenbring takes the snap, throws it over the middle. It's caught. Michael Paulson, his first catch of the day, will be good enough for a gain of about 10 yards to bring up 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, it kind of looked like OG was just kind of standing and watching what was happening. I don't know what happened there. They did not pick up on that pass at all. He was wide open, that Paulson.
And that's that hurry-up offense. Gorman needs to be able to read the offense defensively. They need to be able to read the offense, what they're doing on the fly. Dannenbring takes the snap. Handoff this time. Trying to move up the middle is Joey Touré, but nothing doing there. He's going to be brought down, actually behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1. That'll bring up 4th down and 4 for the Rough Riders on their own 31, and they bring out the punt team.
Yeah, it was interesting they went to the run. They have not had much success early on here with the run against OG's defense, and then that's what they went for there on 3rd down.
Yeah, they had a couple good long runs to start off the game, but then O'Gorman figured that out pretty darn quickly. That's that tenacious O'Gorman D coming alive early. Back to punt for the Rough Riders. Number 89, Vance Brochers, a 6'3", 185-pound sophomore.
Zach Norton parked on the 39-yard line here.
Here's the snap, the punt on nearly blocked, but Norton scoops it up at the 35. Fakes left, goes right. Breaks 1 tackle, but he's going to be brought down about the 40-yard line. But a flag back on the 50. Roosevelt clapping. Thinking it might be on OG.
Kind of getting themselves in trouble here early on.
I'm going to say block in the back on OG on the return. They're going to spot the ball at the 40-yard line. They're going to walk the ball back. I believe this is going to be a 5-yard penalty. Gorman's offense is ready, but the officials need to kind of get things collected a little bit here so they can get their spot. By the way, our officials for today's game, referee Jim Ricketts Jr., umpire Todd Landsman. The head linesman is Scott Jansen. Line judge is John Garrow. The back judge is Ryan Sage. We appreciate all the work that they do. South Dakota football. We wish them a good game. So, we're going to put the ball down at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, OG from the right hash. Here's Schlimgen in shotgun. 2 receivers either side, 1 back. Takes a snap, drops back, throws it right side. Quick little out route and a catch.
Yeah, that was Zach Norton over there. It looks like they're going to spot it at the 37-yard line, so it'll be a 7-yard catch for Zach Norton. Good
little game there for OG, and they've kind of been working between the pass and the run in their first couple series. In their first series, rather. I think they might try to play more of a balanced offense tonight against this Roosevelt squad just to keep them guessing because, again, this is probably one of the best defenses in high school football in South Dakota. Schlimgen in shotgun, same formation as last, trying to get Roosevelt to jump, nothing doing. Here's the fake handoff, and Schlimgen keeps it up the middle. Splits the linebackers at the 30, 20, at the 10, tripped up and hits the deck back at the 10-yard line. Not bad for a QB keeper by the 5'10", 165-pound junior.
Boy, credit to O'Gorman's offensive line there, holding that hole open long enough for Teagan to squirt in. He actually faked the handoff over to Tate Wishart, and that brought in the Roosevelt defense, and Schlimgen just was able to kind of squirt right through there. Great gain.
Well, and Schlimgen is not necessarily known for his speed. He's a fantastic passer, but usually Zach Norton's the guy they bring in for those long kind of QB keepers. Schlimgen's shown that he can do it as well. So first and goal for the Knights. The ball was officially spotted on the 9-yard line. Schlimgen in shotgun, no wide receivers, 2 backs. Fakes the handoff, keeps himself again, rolls out left side. This is Zach Norton this time.
That is Norton, yep.
He's going to be brought down, but not before a gain of about 3.
And that might have been Norton on the previous play.
We could have just called it completely wrong.
Well, that's all right. It was an OG night anyway. Yeah, I think that was Norton on the previous play because I didn't see
and we
quarterback
probably
come in. It's tough because OG is wearing their their white jerseys with those silvery numbers, so it is kind of hard to tell. And we got the sun right on their backs.
I was going to say we should get that out of the way right now. If we call a number wrong, we apologize. These numbers from this high up are almost impossible to see.
There you go.
Here's the handoff. Tate Wisher, left side. He works his way in the end zone and touchdown O'Gorman.
All right, Tate Wisher with a 7-yard rush up the left side. Good for him.
Dragged 2 defensive players with him into the end zone as he stumbled on in. 4:04 to play in this first quarter. The Knights are on the board first of President's Bowl 28.
Every Wishard run it seems to have that signature. Drags this guy, drags this guy. He's just such a young powerhouse.
Well, he's short, roughly. I mean, he's pretty decent height. He's the national average for males at 5'10", but he's 195 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah, he's built.
Pavelko puts through the PAT. 7-0. O'Gorman Knights take the early lead here at President's Bowl 28. We'll step aside. This is O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Amazon devices. To listen to your station, just ask Alexa to enable the Real Presence Radio skill and use a phrase like,
Alexa, tell Real Presence Radio to play Sioux Falls.
Or,
Alexa, ask Real Presence Radio to play FM 94.5.
You can also visit the Alexa Skills Marketplace and search for Real Presence Radio to enable it. Listen to RPR anytime, anywhere, now on your Amazon devices.
Do you have daily pain and discomfort that includes headaches, neck and back pain, and arm and leg numbness? Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic provides gentle adjusting, x-ray evaluation, rehabilitation, and massage therapy to treat these symptoms. Hagan Chiropractic Clinic is located on 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch, call me at 361-OUCH.
Welcome back to Howard Wood Field. The Knights with the early lead over the Roosevelt Rough Riders, 7-0. Set up by a 50-yard QB keeper by Tegan Schlimgen.
So yes, that was Tegan.
It was Tegan Schlimgen. We did confirm that. And then put in, thanks to Tate Wisher, a 6-yard run up the left side for the Knights' first score.
Yeah, last week, Connor Pavelko, he actually set a school record, 49-yard field goal. That was pretty impressive.
And I've heard he can do better. I've heard that on a windless day, he can kick it over 50.
Well, and he's got the wind to his back here at least for part of the game, so it'll be kind of fun to see if he can do it again.
Pavelko sends it away. It's going to be picked up by Tucker Large. He's going to sweep around the left side, finds the gap, cuts back inside, and he's brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of flags. We got one down at the 18-yard line, one at the 26-yard line, so we'll see.
Caden Hackman made the tackle, a fantastic textbook form hit over on the left hash at that 35-yard line, but I think we might see some holding.
And Hackman got up a little slow there, and he tried to walk it off, and KG said, just sit down on the turf here, man. Take it out. Take it easy.
Trainer's going to take a look at him as the officials sort things out with the flags. We're going to say block in the back actually on Roosevelt, so that'll be 10 yards back from the spot.
Certified athletic trainer Tiffany Geis taking a look at Caden Hackman now. He's taking his time. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely. They're actually going to say that the block in the back took place back at the 19-yard line, so the ball will be officially spotted at the 9. The scoreboard says 10. That's incorrect. It's actually 9. Actually, one side of the scoreboard says 9. The other says 10. We could just even say 9.5 if we really wanted to.
Yeah, why not?
Well, while they're attending to Mr. Hackman, we should probably let you know that the Real Presence Radio Fall Live Drive is coming up next week already. That's Wednesday, September 18th through Friday the 20th. So if you enjoy all the great programs and special events like today's O'Gorman football game and the basketball games this winter, please plan to call in and pledge your support between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that is the 18th through the 20th, and be an active member in this family of faith and hope. Hackman taken off the field. Roosevelt back on 1st and 10. Dannon bringing shotgun. Fires a long pass down the left side. Uncontested catch by Caden Jordan. It's going to be wrestled down, but not before a healthy gain of about 21 yards.
Yeah, John Kunkel was going for the bump and read and then kind of turned around and was busy looking at the pass. He got a flag down now.
They're actually going to mark him back just a hair. So they're going to say about 17 yards is all.
The result of the play is a first down. Dead ball,
so it was a sideline violation, or a warning, I should say, on Roosevelt's bench. But no penalty assessed for something like that, at least not on the first one. So it would be 1st and 10 from the 36 for the Rough Riders on the left hash. Dannon bringing in shotgun. He's got two backs, one behind him, one to his left. He's got a slot receiver to the left and one spread out to the right. He takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, but nothing doing. In fact, that'll be a loss of about 1 yard. It was a handoff to Tyler Feldkamp. Feldkamp had a lot of success earlier in the game, but the Knights have found a way to isolate that run pretty handily.
Yeah, they have. I believe that was Michael Shea that jumped up in there. I can't tell what the number is. I apologize, folks. No, I think it was John Kunkel.
So brings up 2nd down and 11 for the Rough Riders. Dannon bring one back this time, puts a man in motion from left to right, fakes the handoff, drops back, looking to pass, looking down the middle. He's rushed, rolls that left side. Loses the ball. The Knights fall on it at the 10-yard line, and it'll be OG ball.
All right, that was good. Was that Matt Peters who jumped on that, or was that Weisensee?
Peters,
yes, it was Peters. That a boy, Matt.
Matt Peters looked like he wanted to scoop and score, but smartly just fell on it. Matt Peters, a 6 foot, 280-pound junior, lumbered down the field, tracked down that fumble. And how about that hit on Dannon?
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Yeah, Cade McCuska had lit him up.
So 1st and 10 for OG. They spotted the ball on the 11-yard line. So here is Mr. Schlimgen in shotgun. One back, two receivers to his right, one to his left. Just a handoff.
Come on, Tate.
To Wishart. Sweeps around the left side of the tackle, I should say, up the field and brings it to the 12-yard line. 13, rather, on the left hash now. Knights moving from right to left.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. They bring in Norton here to try possibly a sneak and have him go run off to the right-hand side. Roosevelt's doing a good job of reading they did a good job there, reading the rush by Tate Wishart.
2:30 to play in this first quarter. Knights up 7-0 over the Rough Riders. Same formation as last, just flipped around. Wishart to the left. Schlimgen in shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off to Wishart. He goes right side, breaks one tackle, and is taken out at the legs at about the 4-yard line. Bring up 3rd down for the Knights.
No, what do? You go for the first down? On the one?
Just enough to get 2 yards.
That's right.
But if the play doesn't work like it's supposed to and you get a touchdown, I suppose that's just as good.
Yeah, you know what? I'd take it.
So the Knights come out. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Schlimgen in shotgun, Wishart to the left. Roosevelt playing up, looking to blitz. Here's the snap, fakes the handoff. Schlimgen goes up the middle, gets hit at the 1-yard line. And, hey, there's that first down.
I was about to say, if they mark it at the half-yard line, we got a first down here.
We'll see where they officially spot that. Schlimgen took a good hit, but looks like he is okay.
Yeah, spot on the 2.
A 4th and, we'll say, inches. They're going to move it up just a little bit. 4th and inches for OG at about the 1.5-yard line. Clock continues to run at 1:20 here in the first quarter. Again, Knights up 7-0 here at Howard Wood Field.
Come on, Knights, here we go. Now I can't tell, is that Norton?
Looks like we have Norton under center, one back. It's Wishart. Here's the snap. Norton pushes his way forward into the end zone and touchdown O'Gorman.
Yeah, there you go. Good job, Knights. Norton turned around, pumping up the crowd.
The Knights coming off of a tough game against Brandon Valley last week. Getting this offense going very early. 13-0 pending the PAT with $1.05 to play in this first quarter. Pavelko is on the field to kick the PAT. Here's the snap, place, kick, it's up. It goes off the left upright, but did it stay inside? No! They're going to say no good on the PAT, a rare miss by Connor Pavelko.
I don't know. It hit off the left upright. There's no doubt about that, but it landed in the middle behind.
So it almost looked like it kind of clipped it and went inside, but the hard part is it went up, and so the officials couldn't quite tell.
Yep.
And I can't really blame
tell
them.
if it broke the plane there on the left-hand side.
But they're going to rule it no good. So the score remains 13-0 with 1:05 to play in this first quarter. We're going to keep it right here. Should mention, too, the last time these two teams played, it was October 2018. OG won 36-0. And this is actually the 12th President's Bowl meeting between these two teams. The Knights lead 9-2. Kind of an interesting number because this is a Sioux Falls event. Usually there's a lot more hype. And Roosevelt and O'Gorman being the 41st Street rivals, there's always been that strong rivalry. But O'Gorman coming out on top in their bowl game.
Yeah, they look pretty good, too. They look pretty good right now, do they? Winning 13-0, but yeah, it's interesting. Not knowing a whole ton of history about Sioux Falls, high school sports and whatnot. I was kind of surprised to see that it was that dominant in O'Gorman's favor.
Especially considering O'Gorman is such a small school by comparison to Roosevelt. It's always kind of the anomaly of O'Gorman. Roosevelt set to receive. Pavelko set to kick at the 40. Back to return for Roosevelt is Feldkamp, but he's going to let it sail over his head, and actually
that would have been a good field goal.
Pavelko kicked it through the uprights. That would have been a good field goal back from the 40-yard line after he missed that PAT. That would have
been like a 70-yard field goal.
Let's do some math. Well, 60 plus 70, and so 70-yard field goal completion. Now he got a bit of a running start, of course. So it wouldn't count really in any way, but.
Connor wants that one back.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll get it
absolutely.
back.
Maybe some retribution for that missed PAT.
Oh, my goodness.
Knights come out with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and bringing up those safeties. Meanwhile, here's Dannenbring in shotgun. Quick little pass over left side into the hands of Michael Paulson. His second catch of the game. Good enough for a gain of 4 yards. Bring up second down and 6 for the Rough Riders. Clock ticks past 1 minute here at Howard Wood Field. Score 13-0.
That was Zach Norton on the tackle there.
Dannenbring gets the call, tells his teammates they check their wrist guards for the play.
Yeah, every single one of them are wearing it.
Dannenbring in shotgun, 2 backs, split receivers, takes the snap, hands it off to Feldkamp. He lost the ball in the backfield, but he recovers back at the 18-yard line. They're going to spot him actually at the 21-yard line. Poppinga not liking that one bit. I'm curious as to the explanation of that.
Yeah, that was kind of a poor spot. I mean, he recovered it back on the 19.
Well, that's the thing is he lost possession of the ball, so forward progress would not matter. But they're going to let the clock run out, spot it at the 22-yard line. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. O'Gorman wants to take a timeout as the officials continue to talk about it. So tentatively, it's going to be 3rd down and 8. We'll see if they change anything here. Great turnout here for game 1 of the President's Bowl. Plenty of maroon and gold in the stands. A fantastic turnout of O'Gorman fans as well, clad mostly in white. Of course, the theme this week is whiteout.
Yeah, going back to that fumble there by, it wasn't Toure. It was Tyler. Yep. So Feldkamp he got actually hit pretty good. Caden Kuska had gone down, and I believe it was Joe Matichek that squirted his way in there, and then Kunkel was right on top of that fumble. Somehow Feldkamp was able to recover, but he actually stumbled backwards and recovered on the 19, yet they spotted on the 22. That's kind of a bummer. I don't understand that, but
and Shannon Poppinga,
unless they were ruling him down when he got hit.
I suppose so,
Kunkel.
yeah. But Shannon Poppinga's done a fantastic job of getting this defense in order and just turning them into a group of bruisers. Third and 8 here for Roosevelt. Dannenbring over top,
right down the
connects
middle.
with his...
Breaks
No,
it
he
down.
lost it. Excuse me. Tucker Large looked like... Tyler Feldkamp, rather, looked like he had it at about the 45-yard line, got hit and lost the ball. So, excuse me, incomplete pass.
Connor Pavelka was able to get his hand up there right as Feldkamp was coming back down, because he had to jump up a little bit on that pass. It wasn't a very accurate pass, but he was able to bring it down. And Pavelka actually got his left arm up there and was able to squirt it out. Good for him.
Feldkamp wishing he would have had that one, looking for a pass interference, but fantastic effort at least on the 5'11 junior. So that brings up 4th down and 8. Roosevelt to punt back at the 10-yard line.
Got Norton and Bird here in the back.
They send it away. It cuts left. Doesn't even make it past the 50-yard line, and they're going to spot it down at the Roosevelt 37-yard line. So fantastic field position for the Knights to start this next offensive possession.
Yeah, it was kind of a squib punt, but then that wind was just blowing pretty heavy on it. That would have been a home run in a phone booth. Straight up, straight down, pretty much.
Oh, I'm looking at all the beautiful flags that are adorned throughout the stadium here at Howard Wood Field. That wind's looking like it's pretty hefty, and again, Roosevelt's going into that from left to right. The Knights now from right to left offensively here, and so it makes it tough for some of those passes and some of those kicks.
Yep, at least for the next 14 seconds. We'll see if we can get a big play off here before change quarters.
Schlingen in shotgun, takes the snap, looks to pass, looks left, fires the ball away. It's going to be over the head of his intended receiver.
I think they're going to call passing interference.
That's Sam Stukel, the intended receiver. We'll wait for the call.
Yeah, it looked like Stukel was kind of grabbed. You can see his jersey, his shoulder pads are showing. Before that ball even left Schlimgen's hand, he was being drugged down. And he was able to break out of it. That was Tucker Large, I think, is going to get called.
Get the official call here. It's going to be a slightly less severe penalty at holding.
Yeah, it's close. The ball hadn't left Schlimgen's hand yet. So
there you go. So lucky break there for Roosevelt at least, but a 10-yard penalty still brings up 1st and 10 from the Roosevelt 27. Schlingen drops the back to pass, scrambles, pressure, rolls out left side, kicks it away, caught at the 20-yard line, and running out of bounds is number 24, Jacob Bird.
Well, not a bad play. You could tell they wanted to air it out there right before the change of the quarter here, but that was smart of Schlingen to kind of tuck it, run it. You still stay behind the line of scrimmage there and got a good pass off to Bird. Bird out to 21. So now we'll change sides. Now they're going to go into the wind. We'll see how that affects OG Knights.
One quarter has come and gone here at President's Bowl 28. The Knights lead the Roosevelt Roughriders 13-0. The Knights will continue offensively as we come back from the break. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Jardine Construction is a general contractor of custom homes, remodeling, and commercial construction. Jardine Construction works in close cooperation with project owners and customers when developing a plan for a building or home. Jardine Construction has lots available in Sioux Falls, Hartford, and Humboldt. John can be reached at 605-231-0830 and Tom at 605-261-6174.
Providence Financial is committed to protecting what matters most to you, your family, and your future. Mark Promis, a trusted choice independent insurance agent with Providence Financial in Sioux Falls, does not work for any one insurance company. He works for you. Mark provides coverage for home, auto, business, health, life, and more. And he can customize policies for you. To make an appointment with Mark, you can call 605-376-3227, or you can visit him at 3208 East 26th Street.
Start of the second quarter here at Howard Wood Field. Tegan Schlingen looks to pass, but keeps it himself on 2nd and 4. Brings it all the way up to the the Roosevelt 12-yard line, rather, and a fresh set of downs for these O'Gorman Knights. The Knights lead 13-0 as we start the second. And, Al, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Well, it was nice to see O'Gorman put up a couple touchdowns. Very rare miss there for Connor Pavelka on that field goal, but then that kickoff was actually pretty sweet when he actually split the uprights from 70 yards out. So I'm very pleased with what O'Gorman's defense is doing, and it's nice to see Roosevelt kind of get some fits here, and hopefully O'Gorman can, after we get an incomplete pass out to Logan Jones, and attempt there, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 on the 12-yard line. But It'll be good for the Knights to score here and kind of put more and more pressure here on Roosevelt, who really coming into this game, everyone was like, well, okay, Roosevelt's going to win, but really by how much?
Right.
And O'Gorman defense has really stepped up big.
Roosevelt has not been able to do a whole lot offensively since the first drive of the game, where Roosevelt marched down but still turned it over on downs. The Knights coming out 2nd and 10 now from the 12th. Here's the handoff. Wishart around the right side. Breaks through and is going to be brought down by the ankles at the 3-yard line. Tate Wishart already 1 touchdown under his belt today, trying to make it a second. Nothing doing, not quite yet at least, but something tells me he might get a second chance here on 3rd and 1.
You know, for the Rough Riders offense, it kind of makes you wonder. This is nothing against Feldkamp. He's looked good.
Right.
But he has dropped the ball a couple of times.
Yep.
But he was able to recover, and then one of them ended up being called back. But even their quarterback, you know, he got absolutely creamed by McCuska.
Right.
So there's been some really big plays, and it kind of makes you wonder, you know, these players that are suspended for Roosevelt, if they would have been a real difference maker in this game.
Schlemgen in shotgun, spread receivers, hands it off to Wishart. He sweeps around left side, pushing
still
forward.
Still going.
At the 1-yard line. But
that was enough for a first down.
There he goes. He's going to be pushed backwards. Flags fly after the play. It looks like there might have been a little bit of talking or something going on at the end of the play, or maybe some pushing.
I don't know. Wishart's got his hands up like, what? So I wonder if that's going to be on us, and we'll get that call back. I'm not quite sure.
Tucker Large holding his lower abdomen a little bit, wondering if maybe he got a fist or something, whether that's inadvertent or on purpose. But he's hurting just a little bit here.
Yeah, as the Pinstripes here continue to chat and figure out what's going on. I felt like they kind of blew that down too soon, because Wishart was still well on his feet. He had 3 Roosevelt guys just going up against him.
Get the call here. That was unsportsmanlike conduct on Tate Wishart. That's going to bring the Knights back at least 10 yards. Yeah, they're going to say 10 yards, so that'll bring up should be 3rd down and 14, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't see what exactly happened, but you were right there. Feldkamp kind of looked like he may have taken something in the breadbasket there, and with Wishart getting the penalty on him.
It says 1st and 10. They moved the sticks, so it was 1st down, and then the penalty was assessed. So, yes, 1st and 10 is correct from the 16-yard line. Schlemgen looks to pass, rolls out right side. Long ball up, it's tipped away just out of the hands of Jonah Webben. And another flag. More linen on the field. We'll see what the call is this time. Be on OG yet again.
Come on, boys. Don't hurt yourselves like this.
OG making a few substitutions here offensively. We'll see what they end up doing. Get the official call here. Ineligible receiver downfield on OG. That's the second of the game for the Knights, and that's just a matter of making sure your linemen don't go too far upfield. They're only allowed 3 yards from the line of scrimmage before the before the pass is thrown. Here's Schlemgen looking to pass, kicks over left side, almost intercepted by Tucker Large on 2nd and 15. He wishes so badly he would have had that one, but that was just a high thrown pass by Schlemgen is all.
Yeah, it looked like some miscommunication there. You know, Stuckel hadn't even started turning around yet when Schlemgen had already tossed that pass up. And yeah, that was a great play by Large. He knew he should have had it too. He was grabbing his helmet out of frustration.
So excluding this current drive, the Knights 13 plays for 108 yards in that first quarter. They've moved backwards more in this second quarter than they have the rest of the game. Here's the snap. Handoff. Norton throws the pass down the right side, but it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Crossing the field from left to right is number 4, Joey Hughes, but he's going to be taken out at the knees at about the 12-yard line, and the first turnover of the game for the O'Gorman Knights.
You know, that was a bad pass. There was 4 Roosevelt Rough Riders around 1 OG receiver. Could have rolled out to the left.
If it wasn't a trick play, and they hadn't written it up like that, it probably was a pass that Schlimgen or Norton wouldn't have made. But for the fact that it was a designed play to flea flicker essentially, or Statue of Liberty, no, flea flicker. He just went for the pass. He just doing his role.
And
unfortunately,
Joey Hughes is being praised on the sideline. He's got his gold horseshoe chain on now.
1st and 10 for Roosevelt Rough Riders. Dannenberg tries a bomb down the field, but it falls incomplete at the O'Gorman 45-yard line. 10:05 to play in this second quarter. Knights lead 13-0 here at Howard Wood Field. Roosevelt moving from right to left, which is now with the wind at their back, so that's going to help them quite a bit here offensively. We'll see how they adjust. When the wind is as steady as it is, it's hard to kind of switch quarters. Usually it takes a couple plays to kind of get used to that different
figure
wind
out
speed.
that carry, yeah.
Exactly, especially as a quarterback. You have a certain touch to your pass, and when the wind is steady, it's tough going from into the wind to with the wind. But here's Dannenberg, rolls out left, looks for a quick little pass, and gets it at the 20-yard line. Michael Paulson with another catch.
Nice tackle by Bird there.
Be short of the first down by a couple yards. We'll bring up 3rd down for the Rough Riders.
The previous play, incomplete pass that dropped down to the 50. That was a great read by Pavelko, Bird, and Norton as well. They're playing an outstanding defense.
And O'Gorman really struggled in the secondary last week, but it looks like they've buttoned it up. Like you said, great coverage for those three. Just the safeties and corners in general, including Caden Hackman as well, who's back in the game after he shook off that injury from earlier.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen him.
Yes. Here's Dannenberg in shotgun, empty backfield, trips right to his left. Dannenberg takes the snap, looks to pass, fires it right side. It's caught past the first down marker up at the 25-yard line. And that's number 19, Caden Jordan, helping out his team, their first down of this drive.
Jacob Woostewald on the tackle. I did a quick tick because it looked like it said 22. I'm like, well, it's Kowalczyk. It couldn't be him. So.
Yeah, Kowalczyk, of course, out with an ankle injury that he sustained last week. Here's Dannenberg rolling out right side, looking to pass on 1st and 10. Instead, he's going to tuck it, keeping himself, moves up the right sideline. He'll be pushed out of bounds, but not before a gain of about 3 on the keeper. Ball is going to be spotted at the 29-yard line, right hash. And it looks like Roosevelt's trying to air it out a little bit more now. I suppose they figured let's capitalize on this little help from the wind and try to put some balls downfield. They did not do that well in the first quarter, maybe because of the wind, maybe because they just haven't quite found their groove yet, but they're really pushing that pass game right now.
Yeah, and I would too with the wind at your back like this, but that secondary of O'Gorman has done a great job of reading and forcing the quarterback to run around there as he did in that last play. Dannenberg there. So
2nd and 7 for Dannenberg. He has trips left, takes the snap, looking to pass, throws it just as he's hit, and it's missed by Michael Paulson. Tried to pull it down with his left hand, but a late flag.
Yeah, we're going to get not illegal contact, but that's going to be on us, folks. Caden Hackman had hit the other guy, not even the receiver.
Yeah, that was Presley Johnson who was sweeping in to follow up on Paulson's miss. But I think we could see pass interference here because I think, honestly, Johnson had an attempt at the ball. Because it was tipped by Paulson. But no, excuse me, they're actually going to call this on Roosevelt's. So forget all that, folks. They saw something we didn't.
We apologize for the language there, folks.
Well, just pat that down. It's a Catholic family station. So they're going to call pass interference on Roosevelt. That'll bring up 2nd down and a country mile, which actually translates to, let me break out the thesaurus, and that's going to be about 22 yards to go for these Rough Riders. Here's Dannenberg in shotgun, spread receivers, one back, drops back to pass from the right hash, looking, gets pressure, tucks it, dives up the middle, gets that original first down marker, and then some. Finally brought down the 32-yard line. Talk about making something out of nothing.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting on his wheels, and we actually came close to sacking him there.
Yeah.
There was 3 Knights closing in on him, but yeah, it wasn't enough. It was led by Cade McCuska.
We'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Rough Riders. See how the Knights adjust to them discovering that Dannenberg is actually pretty darn good on his feet. Dannenberg, empty backfield this time. 3 receivers spread out to his left. That's Tripp's left. And 2 to his right. Dannenbrink checks his play once more on his left arm and calls for a timeout. 7:51 to play in this second quarter. Knights lead 13-0. They're going to take a timeout, and we'll do the same. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Need repairs on gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors? Sioux Equipment Company can help. They serve Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company also offers services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment. Sioux Equipment Company at 605-334-1653 is a supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
Did you know you can listen to the RPR network when you're on the go? Just search for Real Presence Radio in your app store. Listen live to any station across the network at any time, so you can stay connected to your local community from wherever you are. Plus, if you miss a program, the Real Presence Radio app is your one-stop shop for local and national podcasts, including our signature show, Real Presence Live. The Real Presence Radio app, with you every step of your faith journey.
Coming off of Roosevelt's first time out of this game. Still looking at 3rd and 4 here in the second quarter. 7:51 to play. Knights lead 13-0. Here's Dannenbrink in shotgun. Here's the pitch and the sweep out left side. It's Feldkamp. He finds some room past the 40, up to the 50-yard line, and it takes a gaggle of O'Gorman Knights players to finally bring down Tyler Feldkamp.
Yeah, taken down there by Jonah Webbin and Jacob Schwab.
Another first down for the Rough Riders, and their best run play since the first drive of the game.
Yeah,
actually, their
opening
second
drive,
play.
Yep.
And that was Tyler Feldkamp again. In fact, it looked very similar to that big play that they had earlier. So maybe something head coach Kim Nelson will keep in his back pocket for later just in case.
Feldkamp, very athletic.
Dannenbrink
looks good.
Split receivers, but puts Feldkamp in motion from left to right. From the left hash, Dannenbrink takes the snap, rolls out right, fires it away. Feldkamp gets it off of the motion and picks up
read by Caden.
3 yards.
Yeah, that was a great job by Caden Hackman meeting Feldkamp right when he caught the ball. And he caught it on the 47-yard line. That's where they'll spot it, but he was met with such force he was tackled all the way back on the 49.
7 minutes to play here in the third quarter. 13-0 OG. Dannenbrink gets the call on 2nd and 7. Ball on the OG 47. The first time they've been in OG territory since early in the first quarter, in fact. Dannenbrink in shotgun, 2 receivers stacked up on either side, 1 back. He takes the snap, drops back, looking left, hit as he throws the long ball down the middle of the field, and was almost caught by an OG player over the head of his intended receiver.
Yeah, Zach Norton was just a couple of yards off of that. It would have been nice if he could have intercepted that.
And we've seen that quite a bit. I think I don't have my stats from last year, I apologize, but Zach Norton had somewhere around 4 interceptions last year alone. Has yet to get one this year, but we'll see.
You know, on those big pass plays over 15 yards, each one of them has been 5 or 6 yards in front of the receiver. You know,
right.
It's almost like Dannenbrink just, hasn't quite tuned in, hey, this is what the wind is doing to me right now.
Well, and like we talked, when you go from throwing into the wind to now with the wind, you have to recompensate.
Yeah,
He hasn't quite found that touch yet. But here he is in shotgun, 1 backspread receivers. Takes the snap, rolls out left. 2 Knights coming in, but he throws it off, and it's caught at the 33-yard line. That's Michael Paulson with yet another catch. They're going to spot him down at the 34-yard line and a Roosevelt first down.
Yeah, Jacob Bird on the tackle there. I don't know if he slipped or what happened, but Paulson came in, and it was actually a short throw, so Paulson did a great job of coming back up and getting it, but Bird couldn't catch him and was able to get him tackled pretty quickly.
Well, and even Paulson slid as he came back to try to get that ball, and so he was just in the right place, right time, and it's hard to defend when he makes such a great catch. 1st and 10, Dannenbrink, spread receivers, drops back, hit again as he throws into no man's land over the middle, and a flag comes in.
I wonder if they're going to call roughing the passer.
It looks like that was number 44, Jonah Wibben, with the hit on the quarterback. I think it wasn't so much the initial hit, but I think it was bringing him to the ground that they might get him for.
Yeah.
And that roughing the passer. But we'll see. We've been wrong once.
Yeah,
It could
maybe
be run
it'll
again.
be holding.
This is why we're not officials. We just
That's right.
talk about the game.
We got faces for radio.
And they're talking to O'Gorman, so this is going to be on Roosevelt. Yes, it's going to be coming back here 15 yards. Actually going to say holding, excuse me. The hold was occurred about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so 10 yards on top of that puts the ball at the O'Gorman 49-yard line. We'll bring up first and 25.
That was on their big left tackle, number 67, Sam Coles, 6'4", 285.
Quite a bit of space here to make up. Trips right this time as Dana brings in shotgun yet again. Fires it over right side. Catch is made by Caden Jordan. He's going to sweep up right side on the flats, and he'll be tackled, brought down. I believe that was number 15.
That was John Kunkel.
Excuse me, John Kunkel, number 5.
See, right here, you can see the numbers pretty easily on O'Gorman on their jerseys. Like, if they don't have that reflection off of the sun, they're actually pretty easy jerseys to read.
And they're beautiful jerseys. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody appreciates the donations that were made to get these new jerseys, but your radio broadcasters don't have perfect eyes. Another pass on the right side. This one's broken away down the right sideline, but no touchdown.
Big tackle there by Jacob Bird on the 3-yard line.
And excuse me, that was number 17, Presley Johnson. Only his second catch of the game, going the distance.
Boy, he made
36 yards, they're going to say, on that reception. A great pass by Brady Dannenbring right down the line. And Johnson did a great job to get those after the catch yardage.
He had, it was actually a perfectly spotted ball.
Yeah.
Johnson caught that on the fly. Didn't have to hold up. It just kept going. Ran a beautiful slant pattern.
Roosevelt knocking on the door. Dannenbring takes the snap, keeps himself, and he'll lose 1 yard here on the QB keeper. He'll bring up second down and goal from the 4. 4:57 to play in the second quarter. Knights leading 13-0, but Roosevelt trying to tack on their first score of the game. As far as possessions have gone, it's basically been Roosevelt most of this second quarter. A nice, steady offensive drive that they've had here after that OG interception. Back on the 5-yard line. Dannenbring this time keeps it, dives up the middle. Touchdown, Roosevelt.
Actually, I think that was number 8, Aaron Kusler.
Right.
Yeah,
I think direct snap.
Yeah.
Aaron Kusler usually plays middle linebacker, and so I apologize. You don't ever see him on offense until this situation.
Yeah, he did a great job of running it up the gut there. OG was, their eyes were elsewhere. They really, I think they were expecting Felderkamp, and Kusler just came in motion, just happened to show up with it. So,
on to kick the PATs, number 25, Bennett Yellowbird. He'll take the snap. It was muffed, but he gets it away, and no good. It was picked up by OG, but it's not like NFL. It's going to be a dead ball. It was caught by an OG player, but you can't really do anything with that afterwards. I do want to mention as well that those Kusler boys, Aaron and Adam, both 6'2", 210-pound seniors, twin brothers, they both committed to go to South Dakota State University to play football, which I am happy about, being an SDSU grad myself. Go Jacks.
Oh, well, that's exciting. I was a UND kid.
Sorry.
Fighting Hawks, Fighting Sioux. So, yeah, could care less about it.
Fair enough.
Not really, no.
Fair enough.
You know, it's funny. When I moved down here, they said, hey, you got to pick a team. Who's it going to be, the Coyotes or the Jackrabbits? Well, I did know who the Jackrabbits were. So back in the old NCC conference, South Dakota State used to come and play us all the time at Memorial Stadium. So there was one thing that we had in common. We absolutely hated the NDSU Bison.
There you go.
And still do. But so I chose the Jackrabbits. That was going to be my South Dakota team.
There you go.
So I am happy to see the Kusler brothers will be there. They're good ball players.
Fantastic players, and obviously Adam can play a little running back potentially up there. We'll see what Coach Stig will do with them when he gets up to Brookings. While we have a chance, by the way, I have to give a special shout out to my father, Mark Promus, and his older brother, Jeff Promus, all the way down in Lincoln, Nebraska, getting ready to watch the Huskers play tonight at 7. I'm envious of you because I'm up here calling a high school football game. Not that I don't love this, but come on, it's Husker football.
Who would they play?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, but University of Northern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Here's the kickoff from Roosevelt. It's going to be fielded by Zach Norton. He cuts up the middle. He's going to be stonewalled at the 25-yard line, falls forward for one more yard, and the Knights will go back to work at the 26-yard line. But I have to say, one thing I love about my Uncle Jeff, and it's kind of a funny thing more than anything, he's the only person I've ever seen that can get away with picking on my dad because he's the older brother.
Is he bigger than your dad?
Yes. Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Like sizably enough.
Yeah, like 3 inches taller. Definitely more of a beer belly, but he might be stronger.
Do you have any siblings yourself?
I do. 4 younger siblings.
Oh, so you're the oldest?
Absolutely.
Oh, I
so
see. I'm the youngest.
That's how I relate with my Uncle Jeff. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. 4:28 to play here in the second quarter. Knights lead 13-6, and Knights back in action. Trips left.
Oh, watch it, watch it.
Throws it, and he's hit as he's thrown. That was number 8, Aaron Kusler, the state commit, rather, getting the hit on the quarterback and forcing Schlemgen to throw it into the dirt. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Knights from the right hash.
Yeah, at least one thing to be thankful for is it was going, in forward motion. So thankfully it was just an incomplete pass. But yeah, he had no clue the guy was behind him either. He came up fast on his blind side.
We'll see what adjustments the Knights have made offensively, since they had a bit of time to kind of think things through as Roosevelt marched down the field in their last possession. Schlemgen in shotgun, trips left, one back, one receiver on the weak side to his right. Here's the snap, fakes the handoff, throw up the middle is caught. Moving down the middle now is number 13, Zach Norton. That'll be enough for a first down as he crosses that 45-yard line marker. Gain of about 19 yards.
Yeah, defender there was Nathan Moon, who was actually the holder on that botched hold on the field goal. So, not field goal.
PAT.
Excuse me, the PAT attempt.
Trips left again. Actually, same formation as the last play. Schlemgen, rather, is in shotgun. This time a swing pass out to the left side into the hands of number 14, Connor Pavelko. He'll cut back upfield on the left sideline, and that'll be good enough for about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 for the Knights right at the 50-yard line on the left hash. 3:40 to play in this second quarter. Knights lead 13-6.
Yeah, I didn't see who made the tackle, but my lovely daughter Natalie here is helping us out today, spotting for us. So Natalie, welcome.
So that means if we mess up a player's number, it's on her,
That's
right?
right. You got to be careful with that water now. I see you spilled some on your pants, so be careful, okay?
Split receivers this time for Schlemgen, but he dumps it over top. A quick little button hook route on the left side of the field. That'll be enough for a first down and then some. Ball's going to be spotted at the 37-yard line. Gain of about 14 yards.
Yeah, that was Norton again, too. Boy, Norton's looked good up the left side today.
Norton, kind of the utility player. He can play running back, wide receiver, quarterback. He punts for OG. He and Connor Pavelko are kind of the Swiss Army knives of the team.
Yeah.
And the Knights get the Rough Riders to jump on 1st and 10 at their own 37. There's been a little bit of that call play going on between both teams, and this is the first offsides for either team that we've had in this game. 5 free yards for the Knights. Puts the ball at the 32-yard line. 1st and 5 now for OG.
You know, back to Norton and Pavelko. It's pretty rare to go 2 plays and not call one of their names.
Exactly.
You know, they're all over the place. Great conditioning. It's fun to watch these boys play.
We have Pavelko spread out to the right. Norton on the left side. Schlemgen looks to pass with split receivers. Nothing there, so he tries to dive up the middle, but he'll lose 1 yard as he's sacked by number 99 from Roosevelt, Caleb Dwyer.
Well, still not bad. I mean, it's 2nd and 6, so it's not the worst.
And the Knights, I'm anticipating, are going to want to burn down this clock as much as possible. Use all 2 minutes and 25 seconds that they have left in this first half to put away one more score before halftime. Remember, the Knights will be receiving to start the third quarter. Schlemgen in shotgun, spread receivers, one back. Takes the snap on 2nd and 6, drops back at the left hash, throws it down the left side, well over his intended receiver. It falls incomplete. Not able to quite catch that one was number 16, Logan Jones.
Yeah, Logan's got wheels too, but there was no way he was going to make up that. That was at least 8 yards out of his reach. It makes you wonder if Schlemgen kind of was feeling that wind. It's like, oh, I got to gun it, you know.
Just a little too much onion on that one.
Yeah, it was a little bit too much.
Not enough mustard, just too much onion. Brings up 3rd down and 6 from the Roosevelt 33-yard line. Still left hash. Schlemgen will have trips right this time. One receiver to his left from the weak side and one back. Roosevelt playing up, showing blitz. Schlemgen takes the snap, drops back. Here's that blitz. He kicks it over left side. It's caught. No, dropped as out of bounds. At about the 15-yard line, his intended receiver, Logan Jones again. That's going to bring up 4th down and 6. Jones looked like he probably could have pulled that one in on that left sideline, but took a hit from the defender. I believe that was number 5, Tucker Large.
Yep.
Good defensive play there by the DB.
Yeah, I thought he had it, but he had to keep possession of it as he was falling to the ground.
The Knights are going to go for it on the Roosevelt 33, 4th and 6, 2 minutes to play in this first half. Schlimgen, 2 receivers either side, 1 back. Roosevelt playing back a little bit. Schlimgen drops back to pass, fires it down the middle. Looking for, caught, touchdown O'Gorman. Sam Stukel pulls it in after tight coverage and puts the Knights on the board yet again before half.
What a beautiful 33-yard strike to Sam Stukel. Man, was that a great pass.
Stukel's first touchdown of the game, the 6-foot, 180-pound junior. Transfer last year from Kansas City. Originally was going to play quarterback for OG, but hurt his shoulder in the first game of the year against Aberdeen Central. Ever since then, he's been the receiver. And obviously, it's paying off.
You know, hats off. It was hard to tell, but as I'm kind of replaying it in my head, that ball was really in his hand. I think it got tipped as he was letting go of the ball, and Stukel was still able to get that thing in. Good for him.
Pavelko puts through the PAT, 20-6. The Knights lead Roosevelt. $1.56 to play in this second quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. This is O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Crossroads Book and Music is a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also features a large line of personalized gifts that are great for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, or any special occasion. Crossroads is located at 41st and Grange next to Camille's. Crossroads, books, gifts, music.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 28th President's Bowl and Game 1 of a doubleheader between O'Gorman Catholic Knights leading 20-6 over the Rough Riders of Roosevelt High School. Just wanted to bring up the Real Presence Radio Fall Live Drive is coming quickly, actually, next week on Wednesday, September 18th through Friday the 20th. Please plan to call in and pledge your support. If you're listening here on 94.5 FM or 91.3 FM, especially, make a note to call in when our very own Heather Caro hosts on Wednesday, the 18th, from 7 to 9 a.m., and on Friday, the 20th, from 11 to noon. So if you're enjoying programs like this and like O'Gorman football, we need your help to support our radio stations, be active members of this family of faith and hope.
The Knights ready to kick it away. Here's Pavelko into the win. It's going to be fielded at about the 10-yard line.
That was Tucker
Cutting
Large.
across the field is Large. He finds a gap up to the 40-yard line. Is finally brought down by his shoelaces. They're going to spot it at the 44-yard line. Some pretty darn good field position there for Roosevelt to start this next offensive possession, who finally put away their first touchdown of the game or their last possession with a very well-calculated drive down the field that sucked up about 5 minutes of this second quarter. They now have a minute 48 to work with before half. We'll see what they end up doing here.
You know, earlier, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about how it's either always Norton or Pavelko that we're calling. That was Pavelko with the tackle there, and had he not gotten that Tucker Large, he probably would have taken it home.
Here's Dannenbring looking to pass, but no, he's going to be wrapped up and sacked back at the 41-yard line. It's the third sack on Brady Dannenbring today. The Knights defense tenacious as ever.
That was KG and Jacob Schwab both met together to bring down Dannenbring. They've put a lot of pressure on Dannenbring today.
And you know, they're trying to find solutions to that, but that offensive line, I think, is just not able to hold back some of these blitzes and some of these tricks that they're using here defensively, especially in that front three. Dannenbring drops back to pass, spread receivers, kicks it away, and it's going to be caught past the first down marker. Good enough for first. Drew Krause. Oh, rather, excuse me, that's the wrong roster. Caden Jordan. Drew Krause, no, he didn't switch teams. That was Jordan with the first down. First down and 10 for Roosevelt, now in OG territory at the 45.
You know, you mentioned Rough Rider offensive line just not being able to hold back the pressure defensively from O'Gorman. Matt Peters has drawn 2, sometimes 3 guys every single play. Matt Peters is kind of an unsung hero this defensive drive, or this defensive line.
Dannenbring finds Jordan again right down the middle. Gain of 13 this time, and good enough for a Roosevelt first down. 1 minute to play in this first half. Head coach Kim Nelson trying to get that clock at 0 as they score. Here's Dannenbring and shotgun trips right. Here's that hurry-up offense. Dannenbring drops back to pass, kicks it over top, but it's tipped away by number 25, Jacob Schwab. 2nd and 10 for Roosevelt.
Yeah, Jacob did a good job of reading that. He saw it the whole way.
By the way, coming up at halftime, we'll have our Knights halftime show, sponsored by sponsored by your Knights of Columbus Insurance field agent Jeff Gillen. We're going to have the newest edition of Inside O'Gorman at that time, sponsored by the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools. I'm still getting used to that name change. Aaron Strand is going to be talking to us, and we'll get you some scores, some info about all the happenings going on inside O'Gorman. That's coming up at halftime in about 48 seconds of game time right here on Real Presence Radio. Timeout on the field. That's the Knights using their last one of the half, leading 20-6 here in the second quarter at Howard Wood Field in President's Bowl 28.
See, 48 seconds left, and probably try a couple more little pass plays.
I think they're probably going to stick with what they've been doing. You're right. So, I mean, the short little pass plays burns down the clock a little bit, but gets them enough yardage to just, kind of march down the field. They're at the 32-yard line right now, which means about 3 little 10-yard blooper passes is probably going to do it for them, and should burn away enough clock to bring it to halftime. So we'll see if the Knights can hold off on that, and we'll see what head coach Kim Nelson has in his pockets and puts out on the field. Both teams back on the field now, 2nd and 10, again from the 32-yard line. Dannenbring and shotgun, one back, 2 receivers stacked on each side. From the middle of the field, Dannenbring takes the snap, drops back to pass, looking down the middle, fires it away, looking into the end zone, but way overthrew his intended receiver. I think that was Jordan, potentially the intended receiver, but maybe just a miscommunication en route. Brings up 3rd down and 10 now for Roosevelt. 42 seconds on the clock.
I think you're right. I think that was intended for Jordan, kind of in the back corner. Jordan hadn't made it yet, but they also had William Rolfe, which he was playing slot, so the ball kind of sailed about 6-7 yards to the left through the air. I mean, that wind took it.
Dannenbring spread receivers, tipped by Jordan, intercepted by OG at the 11-yard line. No, they're going to call it off and say it hit the turf. Incomplete pass, but that was scooped up by
That was Norton.
That was Zach Norton. Okay,
Yep.
Zach Norton,
they're
almost interception.
They're saying it came off the ground. I don't know, Norton. It looked like Norton had it. Oh,
and
they're
looking at the
replay
instant
here.
replay, it did touch off the ground.
Oh,
Good
bananas.
call by the back judge there. Very impressive call because the back judge was way behind Norton, but saw it. So 4th and 10 for Roosevelt. 37 seconds to play in the half. Dannenbring, spread receivers, one back, in shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, looking right, now left, fires the ball down the middle of the field, and Jordan is hit immediately as he puts his hands up to get the ball. He wants a flag, but that looked pretty darn clean to me, Al.
Yeah, Logan Jones had a great read on it. He did contact Williams, but it was after the ball had already hit Williams' feet or hands, so... No, that was just a great defensive play by Logan Jones. You're not going to get any pass call there.
The 3rd turnover for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, 2nd on downs in this first half. We'll see if OG wants some more points, but I'm seeing victory formation. Schlemgen's going to take the snap, take a knee.
Safe here.
Telling the officials that's his intention on 1st and 10. Takes the snap from the 30-yard line, takes that knee. Clock continues to run. He'll have to do it one more time as the clock reads 30. 25-second play clock, but they're going to allow it to just be run off. So, at halftime, the O'Gorman Knights lead the Roosevelt Rough Riders 20-6. Oh, excuse me. You're going to make them actually kneel it one more time. I apologize. Teams are headed back to the...
Both teams are headed back to the locker room here.
The officials looked like they motioned that they were just going to run it off. And maybe they are. Clock's continuing to run.
That ref had motion for it.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. It was confusing for everybody. At halftime, the Knights lead 20-6. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have your Knights halftime show sponsored by your Knights of Columbus Insurance field agent, Jeff Gillen. That's on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Do you have daily pain and discomfort that includes headaches, neck and back pain, and arm and leg numbness? Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic provides gentle adjusting, x-ray evaluation, rehabilitation, and massage therapy to treat these symptoms. Hagan Chiropractic Clinic is located on 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch, call me at 361-OUCH.
Crossroads Book and Music is a local source for Catholic gifts and supplies. From rosaries and medals to books and Bibles, Crossroads is here with materials to help individuals in their walk with Christ. Crossroads also features a large line of personalized gifts that are great for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, or any special occasion. Crossroads is located at 41st and Grange next to Camille's. Crossroads, books, gifts, music.
Need repairs on gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors? Sioux Equipment Company can help. They serve Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company also offers services for lifts, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment. Sioux Equipment Company at 605-334-1653 is a supporter of O'Gorman Knights athletics and activities.
Your family is depending on you to provide financial security for them. The Knights of Columbus can help you with insurance solutions such as disability income, long-term care, both term and whole life, annuities, retirement, and estate planning services. Join the Knights of Columbus today at kofc.org/join us for access to all these insurance services. Call Jeff Gillen at 605-759-7204. That's 605-759-7204.
From the Real Presence Radio Network, welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Halftime Show, brought to you by your Knights of Columbus field agent for Sioux Falls and the Southeast South Dakota area, Jeff Gillen.
Welcome into the Knights Halftime Show, sponsored by your Knights of Columbus Insurance field agent, Jeff Gillen. Game 1 of the 28th edition of the Sioux Falls President's Bowl. The Knights lead the Roosevelt Rough Riders 20-6, and what was a fantastic first half for the O'Gorman Knights, keeping this fantastic Rough Riders offense to only one touchdown, which came very late in that second quarter, Al, where Roosevelt just had a fantastic offensive drive, but the Knights have been just dynamic offensively. They're running a lot of different types of looks. They're running the ball well. They're completing their passes very well. I can't really say enough about what we saw from OG already.
Yeah, they've certainly kept it varied, to say the least. They haven't gone for the long bomb. Of course, at the first quarter, they were going into the win, so we knew it was going to be short stuff, but we knew we were going to be handing off and doing a lot of running. They've done it via the ground, which is no surprise. You got somebody like Tate Wishart. Also, Zach Norton's been doing some fun stuff too from behind the line of scrimmage, really getting a lot of yards. I think the biggest thing is their offensive drives have been long. I mean, that defense for Roosevelt has been on the field a lot today.
Right.
They did get quite a good rest there in the second quarter on that opening drive for Roosevelt, but outside of that, I think they're just tired. They look a little bit tired. You saw some sloppy plays on both sides, run some penalties in the first quarter. Second quarter, things seem to tighten up, but then things are getting a little chippy out there as well. So, hats off to the OG offense. The OG defense is looking pretty good too.
O'Gorman started off the game with a 3-yard touchdown run by Tate Wishart, followed up by a QB keeper by Zach Norton, their second score of the game, after which Connor Pavelko missed the PAT. It clipped off the left uprights. It looked like it could have gone in, looked like it could have been out as well. Excuse me, that was Tegan Schlingen rather on the QB keeper, but Connor Pavelko did miss that PAT. And then later in the second quarter, with about 2 minutes left to play, a Tegan Schlingen to Sam Stukel connection for about 33 yards in the end zone against the win to round out the score at 20 points for OG. Let's look at the scoring drive for these O'Gorman Knights. We'll get you some stats coming up here in just a little bit once we get the official stats. We have our own, but I trust the people that are doing that instead of also
doing
talking.
It exclusively, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to step aside. Oh, and hey, here's the stats right here.
Thank you, Natalie.
Let's take a look at them.
There you go.
So the O'Gorman Knights putting up 194 yards in total offense in 28 plays. Roosevelt 181 yards in total offense for 34 plays. In passing yards, though, it's Roosevelt on top, 148 by 93. OG one on the ground versus Roosevelt's 33-yard line. Knights with 11 first downs versus 9 from Roosevelt. On the page for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, 1 fumble recovery by OG and 2 turnovers downs by the O'Gorman Knights defense. And this is interesting. The Knights are up by 14. Had the ball about 3.25 minutes less than the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Yeah, you take out that opening drive of the second quarter for Roosevelt. They must have taken 8 or 9 minutes off of the clock right there. I mean, that was a long drive. So in this game, everywhere you look, and even look drive there for Roosevelt, that was Aaron Kusler, one of the Kusler twins,
right,
who are going to South Dakota State next year, where he was actually a quarterback keeper, and he ran it in for 3 yards, so that was a good play for them.
Kind of a wildcat offensive kind of play,
yeah.
Direct snap to an offset back, quarterback, running back, whatever you want to call him, and a linebacker to finish the job for the 1-yard touchdown run for Roosevelt. So again, 20-6, the O'Gorman Knights leading the Roosevelt Rough Riders, here at President's Bowl Game 1. And you're listening to the Knights Halftime Show, sponsored by your Knights of Insurance agent, Jeff Gillen. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll have the newest edition northwest side of the field. Roosevelt then kicking from the southeast side to kick things off in this second half. Knights leading 20-6. I'm Michael Promus alongside Al Benjamin and Brett Byler right over there keeping us online. Thank you so much for listening, both on our radio stations, 94.5 FM here in Sioux Falls, 91.3 FM in Hartford, and online at yourcatholicradiostation.com. Also on YouTube with our live stream. Here's the kick. It's going to be fielded by Zach Norton. He's going to sweep around the right side, cuts back. Check that.
Sam Stukel.
Yep. He's going to cut down inside. Went right, then left, cut back inside, and brings it up to about the 30-yard line. And that is where Tegan Schlimke and this O'Gorman offense will start things off here in this third quarter.
You know, hopefully it's just I imagine they're going to attack it very much like the opening drive of the game, where they were going left to right. Same here, going left to right, going into the wind. So thankfully they'll have the wind to their back to close out this game. That's going to be a big one.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I imagine they'll probably go for something short, keep those short passes going, and rush.
The Knights, 7 down linemen, 1 receiver either side, 1 back. Schlimgen in shotgun. Quick little pass over left side. It's caught.
Come on, Zach.
Zach Norton trying to get that first down, but he might be a little short. We'll see if they give him a generous spot, but he was fighting. If he would have broken away from that one tackle,
he would have been gone.
Off to the barn.
Yeah, he would have been gone. The entire defense for Roosevelt was actually playing down. They were trying to get pressure on Schlimgen, but they were all playing down to the left. And so was that Stukel? No, Norton was over there.
That will be enough for a first down thanks to forward progress. Another stacked line, this time a pitch over to Witchery right side, but he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss of about 1.5 yards, and that was number 9, Adam Kusler, getting past his offensive lineman and making a fantastic tackle.
Yeah, and at number 1, Tucker Wolf was lying on the ground, and so Wisher didn't see him and kind of tripped over him a little bit too.
2nd and 11 for OG on their own 39-yard line, just a hair in from the right hash. Schlimgen in shotgun, 1 back, 1 receiver spread out to the left. Here's the snap stack line. Quick little pass over left side, and that's well over the head of Zach Norton. I think he was anticipating a fade route from Norton along the sideline, but Norton looked like he was going for kind of a hybrid flag route, and just miscommunication there brings up 3rd down and 11.
Did you notice how that ball just kind of went up in the air? They just kind of sat in the same exact spot for a second. I mean,
hunting season's upon us almost.
That wind just hung up that ball, just kind of hanging out. Looks like I got a bunch of Lincoln Patriots fans kind of flooding the OG side here.
Piling in for game 2 against Washington. Schlimgen puts a receiver from right to left, 1 back. And a jump on the O'Gorman offensive line. Jump from the defensive side too, but I think it happened at the same time, which means that Will Washerberger is going to get the penalty, and this will go back 5 yards. Should be 3rd and 16 for OG after the penalty. 10:50 to play in this third quarter. Knights leading 20-6.
The Rough Rider fans making sure that OG knew that they could not do that. That was very nice.
Gotta love the fan section, right?
You know what? It's fun when they have the nice, clean cheers.
Absolutely. Sportsmanship. Hey, that's what it's all about.
It's a good time.
There are bigger things happening here than high school footballs, and I love it when they keep that in mind. So 3rd down 16 for OG on their own 34. Schlumgen in shotgun. One receiver kicks it over that way and well overthrows his intended receiver, and guess who was there to hit Schlumgen as he threw it? Adam Kusler. Schlumgen was looking for Connor Pavelko. Nothing happening. 4th and 16. The Knights will have to punt. Let's take a moment then for station identification. You're listening to Real Presence Radio, 94.5 FM, KGWB Falls, and 91.3 FM, KSTJ Hartford, Madison, Mitchell, and Yankton. Zach Norton back to punt for the Knights. Tyler Feldkamp standing on the 30-yard line, ready to receive. It's an end-over-end kick, and it is short. Touches down at about the 51-yard line. It's going to be touched by Waschenberger. And Roosevelt, fantastic field position to start their first offensive possession of this second half.
Yeah, you don't really want to be punting into this win because it just kind of hangs out there.
Roosevelt had a problem with it the first quarter. O'Gorman, obviously, on their first punt of the game, having issues with that. Second punt of the game, excuse me. The 1st and 10 for the Rough Riders from the left hash on their own 49. Here's Dannenberg in shotgun, trips left one back, takes the snap, rolls out right, the option. He pitches it off to Touré. Touré tries to move up, but he's going to be met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Gain of 0, 2nd and 10, Roosevelt.
Yeah, it was an excellent job at tying up Touré's feet there by Joe Matichek, number 37.
One thing I do need to point out as well is we did go over the scoreboard update while Al was eating his ice cream sandwich, but a final up in Brookings, 38-0. The Jacks defeating Drake today.
Oh, yeah.
2-1, only loss is against Minnesota, so starting well. Back to high school, trips left for Dannenberg. One backfield, throws it over right side. It's going to be caught by Michael Paulson, but a flag away from the ball.
A flag. I think that's going to be on Roosevelt.
If the play stands, it'll be a gain of about 7 yards.
As soon as that flag hit the ground, Kunkel was pointing over at Roosevelt, and Roosevelt is putting their vehicle in reverse right now, so we'll see.
Mr. Ricketts Jr. with the call. Will be on Roosevelt. I believe that was an ineligible receiver downfield. So that's going to push him back about 5 yards. 2nd down and 15 then. And yes, indeed, an ineligible receiver downfield. So it brings up 2nd and 15 for Roosevelt, back on their own 44, worse field position than when they started this drive.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Dannenberg in shotgun, trips right this time. One receiver spread to his left. He's got Touré to his left in the backfield.
Hackman's going to have his hands full there. Let's shut it down.
Knights playing back. Dannenberg looks to pass. Nothing there. Tucks it. Keeps himself. Moves up. He'll gain about 1 or 2 yards depending on the spot. If he's lucky, they'll give him 2.
That was Cade McCuska on the tackle, wrapping up his legs.
They're actually going to say a gain of 0 for Dannenberg, so it brings up 3rd down and 15. The clock ticks past 8:50 here in the third quarter. Roosevelt still in their 44, and they're down 20-6 against the O'Gorman Knights.
Webb and McCuska and Peters have done an outstanding job on the defensive line, and they've continued it in here to the second half.
O'Gorman's going to bring out the nickel package here. Means 5 DBs, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Stacked receivers either side. Dannenberg in shotgun, drops back, looking downfield, fires the long ball down the right sideline, but over the head of his intended receiver. Falls incomplete, looking for Paulson again that time, and that's just kind of been a theme for Brady Dannenberg this entire game. He's overthrown his receiver on at least half a dozen plays, and overthrew him very a good amount. I mean,
yeah, it's
talking 5-10 yards.
Yeah, it's not. Hey, the wind is taking it. It's just he's gunning it. And I don't know if it's just that pressure. He's feeling that pressure, so it's kind of getting amped up and just letting it rip. But yeah, Dannenberg has not been very accurate with his throws today, and credit OG's defense for really putting that pressure on him.
4th and 15. Roosevelt will punt its away and field it at about the 16-yard line. Here's Jacob Bird sweeping down the left sideline, tries to cut back, but he's hit hard and brought down at about the 31-32-yard line. OG will go back to work at the 8:06 mark here in the third quarter, still leading 20-6. No scores yet in this second half. We'll see if OG can kind of get back in the saddle and move this ball downfield. We talked about that they were kind of winning the possession battle for the most part in the second half until Roosevelt kind of had a nice long possession of their own. We'll see if they try to go for that or maybe just the quick pass attack like we've seen them do as well.
You know, it's funny, too. I was kind of thinking about it there in the half. Roosevelt had run out the last minute of the first quarter, and then O'Gorman didn't get the – so their drive ended with about, 3.5 minutes left in the first half, and that was an outstanding drive by Roosevelt.
1st and 10 will be a handoff to Tate Wishart. Nothing doing, though, as he runs into the nose guard, so it'll be 2nd and 10 for OG, still on their own 33-yard line. Schlimgen still in shotgun. Wishart to his right. Trips right receivers, including Stukel and Norton, one to his left. Roosevelt playing up, showing blitz. Here's the snap. Quick pass to Stukel, but it hits the dirt in front of him and falls incomplete as it hits him in the chest. Bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Knights.
You know, you talk about that nose guard for Roosevelt, that 67 Sam Coles, and we've called his name earlier, but he's a big boy, isn't he? 285, 6'4", junior. Junior.
He still has a year to
buckets.
Get beefed up, folks.
And that's not all Mom's home cooking. I mean, he's got some pythons on him. Look at that. When his arms look giant from all the way up here, that kid's got some pipes on him.
He's a high schooler. I'm a full-grown man. I think his arms are bigger than my thighs. It's impressive.
Without a doubt.
Schlimgen in shotgun, trips right, looks to pass, drops back, fires it down the left hash, but overthrows Sam Stukel pretty well. Again, just some miscommunication between receiver and quarterback, I think. It's going to bring up 4th down and 10 for OG, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, he overthrew him by about 5-6 yards. I mean, it was a great job of defending Stukel there. I can't tell who that was, 21. The free safety, Nathan Moon, who also is the placeholder for point after touchdown. But
Zach Norton back to punt, standing on the OG 17-yard line. And back to return for Roosevelt is Tyler Feldkamp, standing on his team's 30. Here's the punt, end over end, and again short. That wind not helping him out much. It touches down at about the 43-yard line, takes an OG bounce, and it'll finally be down at about the 34-yard line. That's the Roosevelt 34-yard line. We'll see what Brady Dannenbrang and the Roosevelt offense can string together here. Nothing but 3 and outs, though, to start off this third quarter. 7:08 to play in the third. Knights up 20-6. Knights come out, still with the nickel, still a 3-3 up front, and Dannenbrang with trips left. One back, takes a snap, fires it left side, finds his receiver Presley Johnson. He dives forward, picks up a couple yards, be a gain of 3, brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Rough Riders.
You know, it'll be interesting to watch this drive and see the changes that Roosevelt makes. That with just a nice kind of lateral 1-yard pass to the side, but you know, allow their receivers to kind of open it up with their legs, because they do have some tall, talented, strong receivers who have the ability to really kind of spread it out with those yards after catch.
Dannenbrang has 2 backs this time, one on either side, one receiver on the wide side on the right. He takes the snap, looks to pass, looks to fumbles the ball, and is recovered by OG at the 34-yard line.
Number 37, Joe Matichek, came up with that one. Attaboy, Joe.
I didn't see who hit the quarterback, but it almost looked like Dannenbrang. It wasn't necessarily even the hit. He tried to juke away from a player, and it slipped out of his hand and recovered easily by OG. So the Knights will go back to work offensively on the Roosevelt 34-yard line.
Yeah, it was Jonah Webben who was giving him that pressure. And, yeah, just like you said, when he juked left and then tried to cut back right, it's like the ball just kind of squirted out of his hands there.
Not really even a forced fumble. It's just a plain old good-fashioned fumble.
Great heads-up play by Matichek to jump on that.
Schlimgen with Wishart to his left, fakes the handoff, dives up the middle, and he'll lose about half a yard on the QB keeper.
Driven down to the ground by number 99, Caleb Dwyer.
And Dwyer has been in on a handful of plays, a pretty big dude himself.
Yeah, he ain't tiny.
I've got his stats somewhere. I apologize. A lot of papers here.
Oh, here we go. 6'2", 265.
There it is. some muscle on this Roosevelt defense. 2nd and 11 officially for OG. 2 backs this time for Schlimgen. He puts Norton in motion from right to left, but a handoff to Wishard. Oh, Wishard finds a hole, breaks away. There's a first down, and breaks away again. Stiff arm, touchdown, O'Gorman.
A little slow getting up there. Man, how many defenders did he deflect off?
Tate Wishard walked through about 5 different Roosevelt players, stiff-armed another, and made his way into the end zone. Al's going to count here on the instant replay, but the second touchdown for Tate Wishard is longest of the night.
He bounced off of 5 guys and then just went. My goodness, that guy is strong.
Connor Pavelko to try to tack on the PAT at the 5:43 mark in the third quarter. Kick is up and good. O'Gorman Knights lead the Roosevelt Rough Riders 27-6 here in the third quarter of the 28th Annual President's Bowl. We'll step aside. You're listening to O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Community. It's at the heart of everything we do at First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. From supporting area athletics to funding academic scholarships, we continually seek new ways to improve and strengthen communities we serve. At the heart of these communities are people, our customers, and our employees. We work hard to ensure our customers are successful and our communities thrive. It's the Premier way. It's what community banking is all about. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. Locally grown, nationally known.
Real Presence Radio is now on Google Assistant devices, including Google Home, phones, tablets, and smart displays. To start this action, say something like, "Okay Google, talk to Real Presence Radio." It will then ask what station you want, which you can respond, "Play Sioux Falls," or "Play AM 970," or "Play WWEN." From there you can use words like play, pause, and stop. Listen to RPR anytime, and now on Google Assistant.
Knights leading the Rough Riders 27-6 off of a Tate Wishard 32-yard touchdown run. He off of what we counted 5 defensive players from Roosevelt. It's like bumper ball. His nickname is the bowling ball. It's like bumper ball. It kind of worked. That was good. Here's the squib kick. It was lost by Roosevelt, but I think they recovered it. Let's double check. One official is actually saying OG. No, it is going to be Roosevelt. Excuse me. O'Gorman tried to cover it, but the hands team did their job for the Rough Riders. In fact, that was number 10, Brandon Dannenberg.
Yeah, I expect Roosevelt to try to make good use of this. They got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left with the wind at their back.
5:40 to play in the third quarter. Here's Brady Dannenberg, puts a man in motion. It's Feldkamp. Hands it off. Flea flicker. Dannenberg looking to pass, but he's grabbed and sacked back at the 20. He's still going backwards. 20-yard line, excuse me. Looked like he was going to go down at the 23. Didn't want to give up.
It's kind of one of those plays where you would kind of hope he would just drop because it just made it longer. I mean, he lost way more, but at least 3-4 more yards there just by not going down when he got that first contact. I couldn't tell. Was that Pavelko ended up coming around and grabbing him?
I believe so, and that was just good coverage. A DB following his receiver, staying in his zone, and at knowing when to attack. That's the hardest part. Recognize the flea flicker play early on and made the play happen. Now 2nd and 24 for Roosevelt back on their own 21. But here's Feldkamp getting the pass over left side, doing some dancing, and actually, again, losing yardage. They're going to spot him down at the 28-yard line. And, maybe that's something that the junior needs to work on. He caught the ball, but he tried to get away too much. Just tried to do too much and actually lost 1 more yard.
Well, Pavelko, he was the first guy on the spot, and he tried to wrap him up, and he did a great job of getting Pavelko off his back, but Pavelko had that towel, and then it was actually Joe Matichek who came around and finished it off.
3rd and 17 now for Roosevelt. Dannenberg puts Feldkamp in motion from left to right again. Again, Roosevelt moving with the wind right to left. Dannenberg with the pass, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line. Caden Hackman, the first interception of the day for the O'Gorman Knights, and they're back on offense.
Oh, what a huge play by Caden Hackman. He had such a great read on that when Dannenberg looked over to the right. He didn't take his eyes off. He didn't go through his progressions at all. He just kind of spotted out his guy on the right. Hackman, outstanding job of just reading that all the way through. A beautiful interception.
Stretched out about 2 extra inches. I think he's been working on his vertical since last year. And give the Knights another chance to score. Up 27-6, 4:15 to play in this third quarter. Here's Tegan Schlimgen in shotgun. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, and 2 backs either side of that shotgun. puts Norton in motion. Here's the screen to Norton, and he is going to be hit in the backfield. A big loss for OG. They're going to stop the play at the 47-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 5 yards for the Knights.
Yeah, Tucker Wolf, number 1 for Roosevelt. He was the first guy on the scene. Yeah, he knew that play coming up. Boy, he wrapped up Norton.
And now Wolf is getting his helmet adjusted there. He's having one of the officials help him out. Got it all taken care of. Mouth guard's back in. He's ready to play. So second down and 15 for OG. Back in their territory at their own 48. Schlemgen, still 2 backs in shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right on the weak side. Here's the snap. Schlemgen drops back, looking left. Swing pass over to Norton, left side, but just a little bit out of his reach. Fall complete, brings up third down and 15 for the Knights.
You know, I can't tell, but it kind of looked like it got tipped there by, who's that, 96 for Roosevelt. Well, I don't see a 96 on my roster, but I swear that's what his jersey says. Maybe it's, 86. How about that, huh? Put my eyeballs back in. David Alpers. Yeah, it kind of looked like he tipped it a little bit with his hand, and that's what threw the pass off.
Yeah, he was the weak side tackle. Be on the Knights' left side of their line. Looked like, got a little hand on it. Broke up the play. Trips left this time for Schlemgen. 1 back. Third down, 15 OG on their own 48. Dump over top. Intercepted by Roosevelt. Moving down the left sideline. Number 8, Aaron Kusler. Trying to make it to the house, but he's brought out at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I can't tell who that is, but they're waving over somebody. Was that Logan Jones who made the tackle there on the 3-yard line?
There is a down Knight out of bounds.
Got a little stinger there or what?
What a fantastic read and grab by one of the twin Kuslers, number 8.
Yeah, it's Keegan Schlemgen who actually made it back in time to knock Kusler out at the 3-yard line, but he immediately kind of crumpled up and rolled out there. He's on his knees, folks. He's okay, but they are taking their time, taking a look at him here.
And just like that, as it swung in OG's favor, Roosevelt taking it right back.
I don't know if that's...
Actually, that was Tate Wishart.
That was Wishart, yeah.
Track down
I'd say he looks a lot larger than Schlemgen. I saw the 0. That was all I could tell.
First interception of the night for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. 3:18 to play in this third quarter. Knights leading 27-6, but Roosevelt trying to change that here. They actually spotted the ball officially at the 6-yard line, so back just a little bit.
Wow.
I think that was in favor of OG pretty heavily. I think it should be at the 3, but again, that's why I'm up here. Brady Dannenbring to go to work. Now, we should mention, too, that he does have number 99, Caleb Dwyer, as a halfback. Takes the snap. It's actually a direct snap to Aaron Kusler, who just received that interception. He's going to push it forward for a gain of 2. This is kind of that wildcat goal line offense that Roosevelt's been running this year. Some big guys in the backfield, no quarterback per se, but just an athlete at your quarterback position.
Yeah, it's kind of odd seeing Dwyer in there at halfback, isn't it?
He's a big boy.
Holy.
Second down and 4 for Roosevelt. Second and goal from the 4, I should say. Here's the snap. Adam Kusler up the middle. Check that. Aaron Kusler up the middle. And touchdown Roosevelt is the call. You get mixed signals from the officials.
They're spotting it at the half-yard line here.
I had one official that looked like he was putting up his arms as a touchdown, but nope, you're right. Third down and goal from the 1.
That wouldn't surprise me if they go for that again. That big halfback Dwyer just barreling himself through, and Kusler just following him right behind.
Paulson spread out right. Here's the snap. Aaron Kusler, left side this time, and in the end zone. Touchdown, Roosevelt.
Once again, they use that number 99, Caleb Dwyer, to kind of draw the attention of OG. He ran up the middle, and Kusler decided to just jut over to the left where there was no coverage. He was able to easily break the plane.
Well, how about this, Al? Who saw this coming? Aaron Kusler, starting linebacker for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, has the only 2 touchdowns of the game for the Rough Riders. Very impressive, and again, proud he's going to state. Off to get the PAT, number 25, Bennett Yellowbird. Snap place kick rather. It's up through the uprights. Knights continue to lead, but Roosevelt is on their heels. 27-13, 2:13 to play in this third quarter. We're going to keep it right here, but I want to let you know that coming up next week is the Real Presence Radio Fall Live Drive, September 18th, that's Wednesday, through Friday, that's the 20th. If you enjoy all the great programs and special events like O'Gorman football and basketball, please plan to call in and pledge your support between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, Wednesday through Friday. Doing so, you'll be an active member of this family of faith and hope, and of course, we appreciate your generosity.
Washington fans and Lincoln fans all coming in here now, starting to pile up on the running tracks.
Game 2 should be kicking off about 7:30 tonight, somewhere in there. You want to see some good football? Stop on down here to Howard Wood Field. Should be a good time. It should be a fantastic game between the Warriors and the Patriots, both 1-1 on the season. Roosevelt ready to kick it off. Back to return for the O'Gorman Knights. Jacob Bird and Connor Pavelko. Kicks away. They picked up about the 5-yard line. Doing some dancing. Check that. That's actually Sam Stukel that got the ball. Brought it up to about the 22-yard line. That's where the Knights will go to work. Stukel subbing in for Pavelko. And he'll stay in and play some wide receiver. So, Tegan Schlimgen coming off the interception led to a Roosevelt touchdown. We'll see what adjustments they make here. Roosevelt playing with a little more tenacity on the defense, especially in the secondary, not quite giving the Knights as much space as they did from a wide receiver position.
You know, and I think it's kind of helped them, obviously when your team can score, it puts you within 2 touchdowns. It kind of gives you that fire under your seat here.
Here's the snap and the sweep. Connor Pavelko left side does some dancing, tries to cut up field, and he'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards. To bring up second down and about 6 for the Knights. $1.50 now to play in the third quarter. Clock ticking away. Again, Knights lead 27-13 in 28th Annual President's Bowl. Knights still moving into the win from the left hash. Schlimgen in shotgun, trips right this time, one back. And by the way, I think that's Connor Pavelko as a running back.
Still on the sidelines there.
Here's the snap. Schlimgen looking to pass, fires it down the left sideline and out of reach. Falls incomplete. Looking for Jacob Bird, but he couldn't quite get there. Hopefully Tate Wishart is doing okay. He actually showed signs of pain after his big touchdown run for 32 yards earlier, and then after he tracked down Aaron Kusler off of that interception, the last offensive drive. Took some time to get off. Trainers came out. Hopefully he's doing okay. 3rd and 6 for OG now. They're on 26-yard line, left hash. Taking some time, bringing that play in. 10 seconds on the play clock. They get it called, though. Last second adjustments. Wide receivers need to get set. 5 seconds now, and the Knights need to take a timeout. Jason Popigan not happy that they could not get set. 1:24 on the clock here in the third quarter. Knights lead 27-13. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. This is O'Gorman Knights football on Real Presence Radio Network.
Value Visor helps people and businesses discover, improve, and get the value from their businesses. With multi-certified valuation and mergers and acquisition advisors, they understand the complexities of valuations and negotiating in the mergers and acquisitions marketplace. For more information, you can contact Jameson Rounds, managing partner of Value Visor, at 605-370-6931 or online at valuevisor.com. Real estate through Murphy Business, Dakota Lakes.
Back at Howard Wood Field, Tate Wishart back in the game for the O'Gorman Knights.
Yeah, I can't really tell what exactly was going on there or what had happened to him, but he came limping back in, and it looks like he's going to give it a go here.
For all of us, for everybody listening on our live stream, we apologize. Lost a bit of connection here from our on our radio signal, 94.5 FM, 91.3 FM in Sioux Falls and Hartford, respectively. We're getting that back on. There always seems to be internet problems here at Howard Wood Field, but we're working through them. So, again, we apologize for any interruption in your viewer or listenership. Handoff up the middle, not doing enough. Bring up 4th down and 3rd for OG. Ball on their own 29-yard line, and here comes the punt unit. Back to return for the Roosevelt. Tyler Feldkamp, number 6.
That was Pavelko on the run. Wishart had come in during the little water break there, the timeout, but then he had gone back to the sideline. So
better
Pavelko.
punt here by Zach Norton. It touches down at the Roosevelt 38-yard line, and they're going to down it. They're going to say it took a bounce backwards. I think that might have been a little bit of play by OG. Now they're going to bring it back up to the 39. So Brady Dannenbring will go back to work with 45 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Again, Knights lead 27-13.
Yeah, see if he'll try to get a big strike here with the wind at his back. You got to get within that. See, once they go to the red zone, they kind of like doing the Kusler little trade-off there. So
Knights sticking with the nickel D. Dannenbring, quick little floater pass over to Tyler Feldkamp, left side. Good stiff arm as he gets his first down, and now into OG territory, down at the 47-yard line.
yeah, Feldkamp had a nice, strong stiff arm there on 16 Logan Jones, and then Caden Hackman came in for the tackle.
And, despite the stiff arm, Jones still held on, and
Yep.
Hackman just kind of finished up the job. 1st and 10, Roosevelt left hash on the OG 47. Screen pass over left side, this time caught by Johnson. He cuts upfield and picks up about 5 yards on the reception.
There they go, going back to the screen pass there. Staying close to the sideline so they can try to run out this clock, or take advantage, I should say, of having the wind at their back before they have to switch sides and go into the wind for the rest of the game.
2nd and 5 for the Rough Riders on the OG 42. Dannenbring, one back, trips left. Takes a snap, loses the ball, and falls on it back on the 48-yard line. Tried to run before he actually had the thing. So cutting his losses there by just falling on the ball. Smart play for an unfortunate circumstance.
See if they try to get a playoff here before the end of the quarter. I doubt they will.
3rd down and 11 on the OG 48-yard line as the clock strikes 0 here in the 3rd quarter, and 3 quarters have come and gone. But the O'Gorman Knights lead the Roosevelt Rough Riders 27-13. Your 4th quarter is coming right up, right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
At McGuire Iron, we believe in building a better tomorrow by providing unmatched services to deliver life-sustaining water. We're a family-run company that has been in business for over 100 years. We pride ourselves on using faith principles in our business practices every day. This deep faith in the church is why we support the Sioux Falls Catholic school system. From all of us at McGuire Iron and the Jones family, we wish all the O'Gorman students and student athletes good luck this year.
Coming your way September 18th, 19th, and 20th, the Real Presence Radio Fall Live Drive. It's one of our major fundraising events of the year and our largest goal ever of $600,000. We'll need your help to get there. We have a huge lineup of inspiring hosts and guests sharing stories of how they found their way to the Catholic faith or strengthened their love for Jesus. Tune in from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. Real Presence Radio.
Start of the 4th quarter here at Howard Wood Field, the 28th annual President's Bowl here in Sioux Falls. Knights lead Roosevelt 27-13. 3rd and 11 for Roosevelt. Dannenbring drops back to pass, but flags fly after the snap. Ball is spotted on the OG 48-yard line for now. It's a false start on Roosevelt as they march backwards into their territory, 3 yards in. Roosevelt down by 2 touchdowns, so begs the question, if you're Kim Nelson, what do you do?
No, you have to go for it. You have to. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of go to that little wildcat and they bring in Kusler.
Right.
Honestly.
Good call.
I mean, that's the play I would run if you want to keep this thing going and get that first down.
We're kind of beyond the point yard line. You really can't afford to punt.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that these offenses are running, the Knights are doing a great job of burning the clock, as are the Rough Riders. So they really just, if you're the Rough Riders, you need to capitalize on every possession and take that risk.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if they don't get it, or when OG does get the ball, what are they going to do?
Right.
We haven't seen tape. Made that phenomenal tackle earlier when they threw the interception. Rough Riders have run it back, 45 yards? And they knocked him out at the 6-yard line. It was quite impressive.
Downed OG player is number 37, Joe Matichek, a 5'10", 100. Second and 10, 15 rather, for Roosevelt. Danenbrink trying to pass it away, but he's going to be sacked back at the 26-yard line.
That was 25. Jacob Schwab had a great read there, was able to bust through and sack him. That was nice. Another big loss.
Went from the OG to 18 back to the 26-yard line and flipped hashes now on the right side. 3rd down and 23 for Roosevelt. Roosevelt is not a stranger to 3rd and long in this game. They've been in the situation at least 4 times, but in every situation that they've been 3rd and long, they've good on the 19-yard line by Presley Johnson. Good sliding catch.
Quick on the tackle there was number 5, John Kunkel, backed up by number 1, Caden Hackman.
So 4th.
Relatively quickly there. It wouldn't surprise me if they get into the end zone, or at least get a first down.
Roosevelt trips left, 1 receiver to the right, 1 back. Danenbrink takes end zone.
Zach Norton.
Zach Norton brings it up to the 14-yard line, and that's where back to work on offense, dodging a bullet and putting Roosevelt in a very tough situation with 7:02 to play in this 4th quarter, 27-13.
Boy, talk about big-time players coming up at big times, making big-time plays. You know, it's a cliche, but I tell you what, and he's made some incredible plays. And actually, he had the interception earlier.
Right.
So he's had 2 interceptions today. Zach Norton, outstanding.
We'll see what the Knights can do with this. I'm guessing a slow, drawn-out offense, but again, stacked line. We have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 down linemen. Here's the snap, the keeper by Again, he sweeps around the left side up to the 15, which means a gain of 0.
And we have Wishart back in there too, so that'll be nice if anything in the back of his hamstring. Just want to encourage folks, you can check out our Twitter page at RPR Sioux Falls, obviously on the radio dials 94.5 FM in Sioux Falls and 91.3 FM in the outer areas, Hartford. Nope, we get the snap here. Wish left.
There you go.
He's brought down to the 20. There you go. Whoop.
Be a gain of about 4 yards. The left side, 3rd down and 6 now for OG, bringing it up to the 19-yard line.
Man, is there already 6 minutes left?
6 minutes left in this game. It seems like it went fast. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
You know, I wonder how hot it is down in the field. There's been a lot of guys on both sides seem to be cramping up a little bit.
3rd down and 6 for OG. Line, no spread receivers, 1 back. And it's Wishart. Schlimgen in shotgun. Here's the snap. Hand off to Wishart. He sweeps around right side. He's going backwards. Heads upfield. Takes a hit. Takes a hit hard, and he's going to lose about 2 yards on that play. He's slow to get up. That was a very solid shoulder-to-shoulder hit by Tate Wishart. Looked like he got his bell rung just a little bit. Brings up 4th and 8, and the Knights are set to punt. So the Knights were able to burn away over about over a minute, which is something at least. I'm sure they wanted to get at least a few more first downs, if nothing else, to just burn the clock down. Now they're going to rely on their defense, potentially, for the remainder of the game, depending on this punt.
I can't tell who's back there punting for us.
Looks like number 15, Andrew Nelson, takes a snap. There's the kick. It's high, end over end. Touches down at about the 42-yard line. Takes a Roosevelt bounce. And they're going to down at the 41-yard line. That is the O'Gorman 41-yard line. So perfect field position for Roosevelt to tack on another touchdown in a short amount of time, which is what the Rough Riders need. And like I said, it's going to come down to O'Gorman's defense just prolonging this game.
You know,
cutting down this game.
Nelson had to get that punt off quick because the brothers Kusler, he didn't get the ball out when he wanted to and kind of held on to it a little bit longer. That was going straight to the ground.
2nd and 10 for Roosevelt. All on their the Knights, 41-yard line. Same formation as last. Danenbrink in shotgun. Takes the snap. It's over his head. Fumbles the ball. Dives on it at the 9-yard line. The Knights swarm around and make sure he doesn't get back up. And that'll be a unfortunate, hefty loss of yardage by Roosevelt and a loss of down to bring up 3rd and 18. And it's caught past the first down marker by Michael Paulson. And that is what the Rough Riders needed to stay in this thing. 19-yard reception and bring to Paulson.
Jacob Bird on the tackle, and he was actually reading Paulson pretty well. Paulson just made an excellent athletic play.
Yeah, that was Roosevelt. And folks, with 3:30 to play in this fourth quarter, we have ourselves
unable to get him down, and then Hackman just
are going to elect to kick a field goal. Bennett Yellowbird. Yellowbird 1 for 2 so far in this game. Takes a snap, place, kick, up, good. 27-20. 3:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Knights still leading Roosevelt, but Roosevelt on the hunt. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. This is O'Gorman Knights football on Real Radio Network.
Sioux Equipment Company can fix, sell, and repair gas pumps, tanks, and air compressors. They offer sales and services, signs, decals, and tank truck equipment in Sioux Falls and the surrounding areas. Sioux Equipment Company is located at 1310 East Street in Sioux Falls, just off of East Benson Road. They can be reached by calling 605-334-1653. Again, that number.
all the great programs and special events.
3 down and a PAT. The Knights at one point led 27-6, but Roosevelt has come back with a vengeance. Try to win. Roosevelt's going to be called for offsides.
So Vance Borgers actually lives in my neighborhood, just across the street. Yeah, his kids are friends with my kids. Yeah, that was a good boot by Vance into the win.
Vance is 6'3", 185-pound sophomore with one leg.
That whole family is tall.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have an 8-year-old who's taller than all of our kids.
That's crazy.
I kid you not.
Oldest is 10.
Yeah, he's 10.
That's impressive.
He's shorter than his sister.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So that offsides will put him back 5 more yards. And Borchers will try this again. Back by Sam Stukel. He's the lone man back at the 20-yard line. Everybody else is playing up, anticipating an onside or squib kick. Knights back us to Hare. To the right. They let it bounce, and Jacob Bird falls on it about the 26-yard line. That very near been picked up by Roosevelt. And we see some good sportsmanship going on down there by the Roosevelt players. That's Nathan Moon helping up Jacob Bird. Love to see that kind of stuff happen. 3:28 now on the board. Knights with a touchdown could more or less seal this game. But if they turn back over to Roosevelt, then folks, whew.
You know, there is something to be said about good sportsmanship, especially in the game of football where it's vicious, right? I mean, you're just creaming guys left and right. It's nice to see them extend a hand, pick them up, say, hey, good game, good play, and let's go get them, boys.
And I love seeing that because when I played for OG, I was not a good person when I played football. Outside of football, it's fine. Schlimgen fakes the handoff. Oh, that right on the QB keeper.
Yeah,
loss of 2, and those Kusler boys continue to wreak havoc on this OG offense. They're actually going to give a generous spot for OG. They're going to say 2nd and 11. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. Roosevelt wants to take a timeout, talk things over just a bit. A reminder, coming up after today's game, we're going to have the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. We're going to break down everything we saw in this game, get you some stats, get you some info. We'll potentially hear from O'Gorman head coach Jason Poppinga if he can maneuver his way up here. We'll dub our Knights Players of the Game. Scoreboard update and get you ready for next week's O'Gorman Knights game. As the Knights get ready to take on, Lincoln at home, homecoming. I probably should go, shouldn't I?
From the MAC.
From the MAC. First game at
great.
McEnany Field.
That's like 2 blocks from my house. So I'm just going to walk to game day.
That's why you decided to do this. It's close. It's volunteer.
I'm not going to.
You're on the radio.
It played into it.
Worked out perfectly.
Half the games at home. Well, the funny part is they're like, hey, we have 2 away games. And I'm like, gosh, you don't play more than 2 away games? Well, all these Sioux Falls schools, it's not really away. So it's kind of worked out great.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What a blessing it's been.
Teams are back on the field. Roosevelt playing up. Knights, several down linemen. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. So that's 6 down linemen. 5, rather. I can't count. Here's the snap. Screen pass to Pavelko out left side. It needs to be brought down back at the 21-yard line.
Nathan Moon on the tackle. He read that. As soon as Pavelko made the catch, turned, and Moon was right on him.
The Knights trying to hold on to this game. Clock at 3:17. Kim Nelson burns another timeout. They have 2 left.
I think
Should
that
be
was
1 left.
O'Gorman who took the timeout.
Oh,
I know they signaled over to Roosevelt, but
yep, I think you're right.
They took one off O'Gorman. They have no timeouts left.
Unless the board's wrong, but who's to say at this point? As it stands, though, Riders 2 timeouts, OG with 0. The Knights getting stretched out a little bit. You did talk about the temperature out there. It is kind of a humidish kind of day because of all the water that we have in the area from the storms. And it's just warm enough. I think it's hovering around 70 degrees in the shade, which is just warm enough to kind of get you going. But then when the wind comes through, it cools you down a little bit, and that's how you get the cramping, is kind of that temperature change, or when you get kind of get too hot, you exert yourself quite a bit.
You mentioned the storms. Just want to remind folks, you can call 211 to find out where you can help out for storm relief. We were in the path. We're good. It was just a bunch of trees and stuff like that, but there's a lot of other folks who didn't fare so well, so thank you so much to all those volunteers, all the folks, all the city workers, utility workers. You got Midco out there. Everybody's doing a great job of cleaning up the city.
And, of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to those with damage and losses. Knights 3rd and 16, looking to pass. Schlim getting down the middle of the field, looking for Stuckel. He reaches out, no good. Check that Jacob Bird as he slides to the turf. That'll bring up 4th down and 16.
Boy.
The Knights are going to have to punt it away.
Oh, that would have been huge. Bird was stretched out. It was great. Honestly, it was just great defense there by Roosevelt. They did a great job of closing in on him, and he was unable to bring it in.
3:11 to play in the 4th quarter. Knights leading 27-20. They're going to give it back to Roosevelt here. They do have the wind with them. And let's see, Zach Norton back into punt. Pinch punting in the last series was Andrew Nelson.
We got Feldkamp back to receive here.
Good kick by Norton. It's going to go to the 41-yard line. A fair catch by Feldkamp. That's where Roosevelt will go to work. Good field position with a short amount of time left in this game. 3:05 on the board. I do also want to take a second while we're talking about the Storms to give a special shout out to the Ferris family and their loss of one of their restaurants, Pizza Ranch on 41st Street in Fun Zone Arcade. One of our sponsors actually here on Real Presence Radio got hit by a tornado. I mean, straight up hit by a tornado, lost a bunch of roof. They just remodeled their arcade as well, so that's a bummer, but thoughts and prayers out for them. And remember, folks, that's why you have insurance.
Yep. Absolutely.
Dannenbring, thanks to handoffs, he gets wrapped up in the backfield, and he's brought down at the 35, 36-yard line. Good defense by OG, and Roosevelt's going to burn a timeout. And they did correct the scoreboard, so that is the Riders' last timeout. The Knights still have one.
Roosevelt, yeah.
When they come back from this break, they'll be looking at 2nd and 15 from their own 36-yard line.
And that was Peters on the sack, too. Great job, big guy.
2:58 to play in this 4th quarter. Again, the Knights lead 27-20.
It's just like John Fritsch was mentioning in the pregame show there, the keys to victory. Do everything you can to help out those businesses that were affected, by frequenting their other businesses in town. And that'll certainly help them get on their feet sooner. And say what you will about sirens, all that jazz. What a blessing it was that nobody got majorly hurt, right?
Yes.
Nobody passed away. I mean,
that's what's most
the
important.
Amount of devastation that's been experienced here just in the last 3-4 days is just, it's unreal, the resiliency of this town and how everyone's coming together to help each other out.
Both teams back on the field. Here we go. Dannenbring and shotgun. One back, 2 receivers either side. Here's the snap. Fires it over right side, looking for Feldkamp. Finds him at the 43-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd down and about 8. The 7-yard reception.
Boy, that sack was huge, wasn't it? My goodness. 3rd and 8. Now, they've had a great 3rd down conversion here. This game has Roosevelt, so.
And the Knights have at least 2 more downs to play defensively, because if Roosevelt doesn't get the 4th down here, even if they lose yardage, they have to go for it. So the Knights get the ball back. They could easily burn down, 2.5 minutes that would be left by the time they got the ball back. Remember, Roosevelt has no timeouts, and they're down by a touchdown. Dannenbring talking to his team. 2 receivers spread out either side from the right hash, 1 back. Dannenbring takes a snap. Knights playing back. looks down the left side. Jukin and jiving, tucks it, nowhere to go, goes up the middle. He'll pick up about 3 yards, but the clock continues to run. And a 4th down situation coming up for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, what's going to be about 4th and 4? 4th
About
and 5?
4th and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is what I read. Dannenberg shotgun, spread receivers again, wasting no time. 2:30 to play in the 4th. Roosevelt down 1. Touchdown. Here's the snap. Dannenberg looking to pass, rolls out left, nowhere to go, and he is going to roll back out right side, fires the ball downfield, in and out of the hands of Michael Paulson, incomplete, and Roosevelt turns it back over to OG. The 3rd turnover on downs of the game, and the Knights just need to burn down the last 2:15 to chalk up a victory here in President's Bowl 28.
Well, don't forget the earlier drive where they were only able to wipe out about 1:20. They were ineffective on the run was O'Gorman, so... But they didn't have Wishart in then. No, they did have Wishart. He was more of a decoy than anything.
We do have an injured Knight on the field. Jacob Schwab is down, writhing in pain down at the right hash on the Roosevelt 34-yard line, getting his right knee checked out, and hopefully everything is okay there. We are going to take a short break. Take a 30-second break, and we'll have more football coming up for you right here on Real Presence Radio.
For 32 years, the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota has been helping donors express their gratitude to God for His many blessings by supporting ministries that they designate. Hi, this is Mark Kenzemius. Learn more about how you can leave a legacy of faith by calling 605-988-3788 or visit ccfesd.org. The Catholic Community Foundation, helping people grow deeper in love with Christ by sharing their gifts in gratitude to God.
Jacob Schwab, the injured Knight on that last play. The Knights forcing a turnover on down of the Roosevelt Rough Riders. 2:15 to play in the 4th. Knights leading 27-20, but Schwab is up, sitting up, I should say. He's being helped up right now, limping on his right leg. Excuse me, he's limping his right leg, but walking off on his own power, so hopefully everything is okay. He's deserved a well-deserved, he deserves a break. He deserves to be done for the day, I definitely think so. Put in his time, and he has been instrumental to this O'Gorman defense.
Yeah, I didn't even see Schwab go down there. I was too busy watching how, Paulson, that pass was coming to him, but Jacob Bird was on him. It covered him well, and the moment that ball touched Paulson's hands, Bird just smoked it.
So the Knights, at 2:15 on the clock, they need a 1st down if they want to burn the clock for the rest of the game. Remember, Roosevelt has no timeout. Spread receivers for OG, 1 back. Schlimgen takes the snap, hands it off to Wishart. He dives up the middle, and that should be good for a gain of about 3. Reminder, coming up after today's game, we'll have your Knights Locker Room show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. We'll break down everything we saw in this game. Get you some stats, some info here from O'Gorman head coach Jason Pape. Get Dub, our Pizza Ranch Knights players of the game. Scoreboard updates, and get you ready for next week's homecoming game. That's all on the way right here on Real Presence Radio. 2nd and 7 for OG on the Roosevelt 44. Schlingen burning the clock down, waiting for it to get low. 2 receivers either side, 1 back in shotgun. Schlingen takes the snap, hands it off to Wishart. He dives up the middle, stopped at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for 1 yard. 3rd down, about 6. Clock ticking past 1:10 now here in the 4th quarter as Lincoln fans, Washington fans start to trickle in on the sides of the field, getting ready for the next game. Game 2 of Dakota Bowl 28 should be a fantastic matchup, just like the first. 3rd and 6 for OG. Clock at 50. Play clock at 1. Here's the snap. Handoff to Wishart up the middle. He dives. Gets up to about the 41-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down. And about 4 yards to go.
Yeah, I got a difference of about 2 seconds between game and play clock here. So they'll
We'll
run
see.
one more, and
If the Knights can get a 1st down, the game's over. If the Knights don't get a 1st down, then there's a potential, depending on how that play goes.
Yeah,
well, actually,
yep.
what they'll do is they'll probably burn down this clock, call a timeout because they do have one left, and then they'll
attempt.
I guess what I would do is take a snap, run around the backfield, and fall down.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd do, and we'll see what they end up doing here because that would burn out the clock. Won't give Roosevelt a chance to come back, throw a long ball down the field to tie it up. 2 seconds on the clock. OG calls a timeout as the game clock, play clock rather, expires. We can talk about a fantastic game by both of these teams.
You know, it's been fun to watch, and this will be quite a good statement game for O'Gorman.
Yes.
Now, you know, we'll see what happens tonight between Aberdeen Central and Brandon Valley. You would imagine the Lynx will probably do their thing and walk away with a win there. But and that's no knock on Aberdeen Central. They're still a young team.
Right. But the defending state champions have a very stocky team.
Yeah.
Beat OG to a fine pulp in the Dakota Bowl last week. Not to be dramatic, of course, but really owned that game. 40-16, I believe, was the final score.
Correct.
But then again, Roosevelt was supposed to win this game as well. So who is to say? It's still early in the season, and until November rolls around, it's anybody's game. Sam Stukel playing back. Schlemgen takes the snap on 4th and 2. There he is, running around, takes the knee as the clock expires, and just like that, the O'Gormanites defeat the Roosevelt Rough Riders 27-20 in Dakota Bowl, President's Bowl 28 to move to 2-1 on the season. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll have the Knights Locker Room Show sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. Stick around. We have a lot more on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Your family is depending on you to provide financial security for them. The Knights of Columbus can help you with insurance solutions such as disability income, long-term care, both term and whole life, annuities, retirement, and estate planning services. Join the Knights of Columbus today at kofc.org/join us for access to all these insurance services. Call Jeff Gillen at 605-759-7204. That's 605-759-7204.
For 32 years, the Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota has been helping donors express their gratitude to God for His many blessings by supporting ministries that they designate. Hi, this is Mark Kenzemius. Learn more about how you can leave a legacy of faith by calling 605-988-3788 or visit ccfesd.org. The Catholic Community Foundation, helping people grow deeper in love with Christ by sharing their gifts in gratitude to God.
Do you have daily pain and discomfort that includes headaches, neck and back pain, and arm and leg numbness? Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic provides gentle adjusting, x-ray evaluation, rehabilitation, and massage therapy to treat these symptoms. Hagen Chiropractic Clinic is located on 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch, call me at 361-OUCH.
Hi, John Fritsch, Fritsch Benefits. The people we work with have two goals. Number one, they don't want to run out of money. Number two, whatever is left, they want it to go to the people they love. Could be issues like Social Security claiming, Medicare choices, even asset allocations for your 401k, or you may want to treat your church like one of your children. If you want to talk about any financial issues, you can call me, John Fritsch, 334-8086.
Investment advice offered through IMS Wealth Management, an SEC registered advisor.
From the Real Presence Radio Network, welcome to the O'Gorman Knights Locker Room Show, brought to you by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. Now, back to the field.
Welcome into the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. And what a game we had here, folks. The O'Gorman Knights started off the game strong, led by 14 early on before Roosevelt tacked on their 6. The Knights followed up shortly after that to bring the lead 20-6 at halftime. And then in the second half, Roosevelt came back with a vengeance. brought it within 1 touchdown. But at the end of it all, the O'Gorman Knights were able to burn down the clock and come away with the victory, 27-20, bring their record to 2-1 on the season, and just further confuse the rankings in the state of South Dakota. And out when you want a good football game, when you're looking for some good football on a Saturday, usually people reach for college football or something like that. But look no further. This was a fantastic matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely it was. You know, coming off, or with Roosevelt coming into this game and being 2-0 and having it taken down Brandon Valley Lynx in the way in which they did. And then us struggling against Brandon Valley in week 2, and then coming into this game, you know, we thought it was going to be a barn burner of a game, and it sure turned into it. Roosevelt's not a team to be slept on, and you can't consider their win over Brandon Valley a fluke. They are the real deal. They're a great team, and O'Gorman just took advantage of those 2 interceptions, those major interceptions. Kind of swung the momentum. And they came at times when Roosevelt had momentum building in the game, and all of a sudden, interception. Outstanding job by O'Gorman on completely taking. I mean, they played a full game. You know, they played a complete game against Roosevelt, and that's what you're gonna have to do to take down a big team like Roosevelt. And yeah, it'll be fun to see what the rankings look like now. Or you know, after tonight, now when Brandon Valley plays Aberdeen Central, I imagine we'll see Brandon Valley. If they win, they would probably get the 1 seed, I would imagine.
Well, and the Roosevelt Rough Riders falling to OG, but defeating Brandon Valley in week 1. It just kind of confuses things, considering the Knights lost to Brandon Valley, and so we'll see where those things kind of line up, but I think the Knights could be very proud of the performance that they put out there here today. We are going to step aside for 1 minute. When we come back, we're going to hear from O'Gorman head coach Jason Pape. That's on the way right here on Real Presence Radio Network.
Do you have daily pain and discomfort that includes headaches, neck and back pain, and arm and leg numbness? Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic provides gentle adjusting, x-ray evaluation, rehabilitation, and massage therapy to treat these symptoms. Hagan Chiropractic Clinic is located on 14th and Cliff, 6 blocks north of Avera Hospital.
Hi, this is Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. Don't say ouch, call me at 361-OUCH.
Searching for more great Catholic content? Visit our website at yourcatholicradiostation.com. Find Catholic news you can trust, information about events coming up in your local area, and the latest on what's happening at the RPR network. And don't forget that you can listen to any of our stations around the clock from anywhere in the world. Need prayers for someone or something in your life? You can submit those through our online form for the entire family to pray for. Real Presence Radio, online at yourcatholicradiostation.com.
Welcome back into the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagan with Hagan Chiropractic Clinic. The Knights moved to 2-1 with a 27-20 victory over the Roosevelt Rough Riders in President's Bowl 28. We're now joined by O'Gorman head coach Jason Pape. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Hey, thank you. Fun game.
Coming off of that loss against Brandon Valley, I think everybody had some questions about, what adjustments you're going to make coming into this game. And obviously, offensively, a much better showing. Everybody seemed to keep their legs about him, and that defense was tight.
Yeah, defense was obviously won the game for us, and we knew that was going to be the case, and we wanted to make them throw the ball. We figured that was our best shot, that we weren't going to get in a ground game, and offensively the second half we were really disappointed. We had some opportunities, and we just didn't get it, and made a couple bad decisions. So but our defense, outstanding game. Defense won the game for us in the second half, and offense did enough in the first half. Should have had another 6 points. Lost that touchdown, which should have been a touchdown after the personal foul penalty, which backed us up, and then didn't get any points out of it, which is kind of a bad deal where we need to clean some of those thumbs up as we move farther along in the year.
Roosevelt started the game with a good running attack, which you guys were quick to kind of sort out. Then they went to their more traditional, pass offense rather, which you guys seem to kind of contain rather well. I know they like to run the hurry up as well, which we saw a couple times tonight. But what did you guys do or plan for offensively that just really helped isolate Roosevelt? And to my count, put up 7 sacks.
Yeah, they did. I mean, that was the biggest thing. We got good pressure, and you look at our defensive ends. You look at McCuska, you look at Webben, and then Tip was in there too. I mean, those guys were getting good pressure on Dan and Bring the whole time, which, it's tough for a quarterback, to have somebody in your face, being able to go through a read progression, and and we stayed with the receivers well enough and, held Feldkamp like we wanted to. We had them in double coverage almost the whole night, saying, well, you got to earn what you're going to get, and, we made them throw the football, and that was the key, that we got those turnovers early in the game, turned them into points, which we needed to do, and then, kept them on their heels.
We saw a lot of offensive formations, too, from your team tonight, especially, I think it was start of third quarter, you brought out the 7 down linemen, 6 down linemen, 7. Just to kind of, was it just to throw Roosevelt off, or were you trying to kind of work?
Well, obviously, we tried to isolate Norty, and, once again, these were mistakes that we made. Norton took the wrong release on the route, and Teagan threw to the outside, and he went to the inside. If he would have been to the outside, we probably had a touchdown, which all of a sudden that changes the whole second half, where we put those points on the board. So, I mean, that's what we keep, preaching to our kids. We really felt like last week with Brandon, it was, just dumb mistakes that you don't see watching the game, because you don't know that, that kid ran the wrong route, which now the safety went over and made a pick. If you would have ran the right route, all of a sudden we've got 40 yards. And, those mistakes, really killed us last week. We didn't make as many of those, but we still left opportunities where we had, man-to-man situations we didn't win. And we know that's a 50-50 shot sometimes, but when you got Norton out there or your best players out there, they got to be able to make plays, or otherwise we're not going to be very good. So, I mean, but that's, when you looked at the first half when we were moving the ball, we got the ball to Norton across the middle. He made people miss. Wish he ran hard, and all those things went together. And then the second half, we were tired. Our guys were getting gassed. Those guys going 2 ways. We were kind of handcuffed a little bit offensively what we could do, just in the fact that we're trying to get guys breaks to be able to go back out and play defense again. So
we're here with O'Gorman head coach Jason Pape here on the Knights Locker Room Show, sponsored by Dr. Mark Hagen with Hagen Chiropractic Clinic. Coach, before we talk about homecoming next week, Connor Pavelko missed a PAT and then later put it through the uprights on the kickoff. Your thoughts?
I mean, that's your thoughts right there. I mean, what do you want to know? And even something as simple as a PAT, and Bo Beavers is handling that job right now since Struck is out with a concussion. But I mean, the number of things that have to go right just on that play. I mean, that's a lot of things, and all of a sudden the hold isn't perfect, and it's a lot of times it's not the kicker's fault. So he's a great kicker. Obviously, you saw his leg strength, and the weapon that we have with him, to put it through the uprights. So I mean, it is what it is.
And Coach, coming up next week, homecoming, first game at McEnany Field.
Finally,
your tough beginning of your schedule continues with Sioux Falls Lincoln. We're going to see him here play in a couple minutes, a few minutes, I should say, against Washington. But your thoughts on the Patriots as you get ready for a shorter week.
Yeah, you look at the Patriots; they're a much improved team, and you were going to see a different style of play, a more Brandon Valley type style of play with them. But I mean, the size up front is once again an issue. I mean, it's an issue for us almost every week on our AAA schedule. I mean, there are no, like we showed tonight, I mean, there's no way we should have probably won this game on paper, but we did, and Lincoln's another one of those teams where you're saying, well, Lincoln hasn't been good for a couple of years. You're right. They were awful last year, and we put 70-some points on the board against them, but I mean, they're a newly defined team, so they can come in the field and obviously spoil homecoming, and it's, AAA football is just good football. I mean, there are no easy games on our schedule. There are no easy cake wins. The only 2 teams with no losses, is Rep City Central, and I think Watertown probably. So maybe a little bit easier on those. But in the Sioux Falls Metro, Harrisburg, beats Washington. Lincoln is probably going to be Washington today if you're going to ask me right now. And we're going to play a very, very good Lincoln team. And Washington at the end of the year is going to be good by the time we get to them at week 7. So, I mean, it's a gone through, but I mean, it's going to make our team hopefully polished by the time we get to those championship rounds.
Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney LLC, member SIPC.
Community. It's at the heart of everything we do at First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card. From supporting area athletics to funding academic scholarships.
When Roosevelt was going, they were going, but for a majority.
That's going to be exciting.
And it's cherry, folks.
And thank goodness that the tornado didn't do anything to that. Huh?
Yeah.
Boy, talk about being lucky.
That. It was across the street.
Goodness gracious,
across the street.
It started there.